Oh, that was weird. This is meant to be the intro. Okay. So let's try this again a different way. Oh, here we go. Cool. So that's the intro. I still haven't worked out how you're supposed to do it so that the intro starts the show and maybe in a way where it doesn't. Look, it's such a banger of a, wow, that's deafening me. It's such a banger of an intro video. I guess it doesn't really matter if it's not perfect in terms of when it arrives. Okay, so haven't done a stream for about a month, literally shuffling papers, make myself feel important. First stream in a while, decided that I've got so many different ideas for streams that I was just doing none of them. And so this one is going to be a mix of all the different stream ideas that I've got, and just to get it off the ground, see what you guys like and what you don't like. Maybe that could become the format where we actually just always mix everything in together. So we'll do a little bit of everything. We're going to look at some coins. Remember, this is the Dilly Down Under stream. So the primary purpose of it is to look at the PRC20 charts of the coins that have been sent to the Dilly DAO. Let's go to my Twitter just to see what's up. Share, share, share. Boomering it. Yeah, let's boomer this shit. Cool. In fact, we want to do the whole window, don't we? So we can flick through these tabs. Fuck yeah, let's go. Let's fucking go. That's here. Perfect. Okay, so if we go to my homepage, you guys know the deal. This is more for new viewers. In my bio is the ETH or EVM compatible address, but it's really meant to be only for Pulse Chain. Although we have had some coins sent in at times which have been from other chains. In fact, I need to go and double check that, as in, because I only look at Pulse Chain. So if you guys have sent coins on other chains, I apologize. And by the way, not all coins are going to make it onto this stream. There's just too many of them. So I'm prioritizing some where the memes have been super dank. So yeah, dankness of memes is definitely bumps coins up the priority list to make it onto this show. What else has been going on? Oh yeah, so the metaverse, fully croissant has fully remodeled the Orange Grove metaverse. By the way, just to warn you guys, this episode is going to be very Tang focused. So just because there's so much cool shit going on in the Tang, it's not meant to sound like I'm doing favoritism. Also, that's part of the reason why this stream has been so many weeks. Normally I try to do a stream a week, but it's literally nearly impossible these days to find a patch of time that there isn't something epic going on in the Tang that you don't really want to conflict with, or that I genuinely want to participate in. So I can't be here streaming while I'm supposed to be over there getting fucking rich. So, but to be clear, we don't do excuses. We don't run that shit. We don't play that game. That's not how we do it on the yacht, especially not when we're on the bow of the yacht. So no excuses. I'll take responsibility for the lack of streams, and I think I'll do some catch-up streams. So get ready for more than one stream a week until I've at least made back those missing weeks. This was such an epic tweet by Cookies. I'm going to be lending from and quoting from Cookies probably a fair bit in this episode, so just get used to it. This tweet that's about the Pussycat Life Farms, Cookies has been doing a really good job of effectively clapping at other crypto participants from different chains, highlighting why Pulse Chain is killing it, but in a very effective way, in a messaging, in a way that they will understand, doing it tastefully with good timing, so that it's not just like Pulse Chain solves this, or hey guys, come and check out Pulse Chain. Like, that's good too. Like, I'm not discounting the efforts of people that try those strategies, but Cookies has a way of just, you know, sending the shot in a way that makes sure that it hits the target. So that's, oh, and then this thing, look, obviously, even though this image has got sort of a similar hairstyle to my PFP, I didn't even notice that when I first realized how much I like this image. It's absolute banger, absolute banger. It's like a Ryu level, like fireball wind up with a Pepe wearing MOG glasses. In fact, you know what? I'm mansplaining the shit out of this. You know what it is. So you guys can see the screen, can't you? Yeah, okay. Ha, you're drunk. No, you're drunk. You're a towel. So actually, you're probably not drunk. So I take that back. So let's get into some charts to start with. We're also going to do some Q&A. The stream types that I had planned, I was going to do like a where are they now, going back through coins that have been on the show. I was going to do one show that was just going to be featuring the biggest of pumps. They're all chart related, obviously. I was going to do new coins that have come in. That's the usual. I was going to do a Q&A stream. I was going to do a Mintfluencer stream where we're just focused on NFT projects that I like. I was going to do a stream where it was just like news and shit that's come out, that's going on in the Tang gang, stuff like that. Then I was even thinking of doing perhaps some videos to highlight the importance of the V3 liquidity that's coming on 9 mil, and how that was all coming together with invest decks that you're going to see in a bit. So that effectively the hat trick, or the three musketeers of invest decks, 9 mil and Petius, coming together in a powerful way, leaning into the Tang gang to various levels, but all of them lean into to some degree, even if it's just making sure that we are well looked after in terms of listings. And in terms of for Petius, they make sure the Tang gang gets their logos on there, because they know it's almost like a bit of a filter, that if something is coming from people within the Tang gang, there's a level of assumed legitimacy where it's not trusted, but it's trusted enough for something like to bother to list the logo, right? You know, obviously that's a low risk. However, it's time consuming if you're constantly trying to list logos of coins that might just disappear and be irrelevant within like a week or two. So it's really coming together. You know, I was saying to an AFK friend of mine, with no exaggeration, that I said, indirectly, projects couldn't theoretically live or die by the attitude of the Tang gang. And that's not deliberate, right? The Tang gang's not trying to do some kind of weird mafia level, if your project doesn't pay its dues, then we like destroy you on the timeline, or we fade you out and fade you into irrelevance. It just ends up becoming like that because the Tang gang is so hype, and people are now looking to the Tang gang to find out what's the best shit that's going on in crypto, particularly on Pulse Chain. Then even just the Tang gang sort of saying, yeah, well, we've got nothing against that project, but we're not going to fuck with it, that can sometimes be enough to actually sort of quite severely damage the amount that people are getting enthusiastic about a project. So an unintended, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing necessarily, but it's just facts. Like, as in, well, it's just my observations. Oh yeah, this is quite hilarious. I was on a wine tour where the seats were dog themed seats. By the way, I don't know if you guys can see in this photo. Does this pop it up? Yeah. See this guy with these purple balloons? You will not believe the theme of this wine tour was fruit. And I, thinking that I was a badass, decided to not check the dress code. And I was like, I can't be fucked doing dress ups. I'm just going to rock up to this thing and just be like, yeah, I didn't even read the invite. What's up? Like, I'm not dressed up. I get there and I'm like, fuck's sake. I almost accidentally nailed the dress code by wearing an HOA top, like an HOA t-shirt. And unfortunately, so not unfortunately, but I was wearing this Pulse Chain graffiti t-shirt, which is a dope t-shirt. And I was also wearing this orange. Yeah, by the way, I'm still wearing it like I slept in it. So that's why it's all fucking creased up and shit. So basically I was wearing this orange hat, which meant I could say, yeah, dudes, it's a fucking orange. I'm an orange. So I went as an orange by accident, and everyone else was dressed in like all stuff to do with fruit shit. It was pretty sick. It was sick time. So, oh yeah, so we had the Free Mint Friday. By the way, yo, I went out, got lit. Oh, so these pictures here are actually from the night before. So this was my Friday Arvo / night. Then I got home late, slept for a little bit, woke up for Free Mint Friday. Then I was, no bullshit, I was sleeping between Free Mints. So I was waking up for a Free Mint because Bullish puts the counters on the Free Mints now. So I was waking up for the Free Mint, getting the Free Mint, listening for a little bit to see what was in the thing, and then going back to sleep, then waking up. It was fucking hectic. Anyway, then we did Free Mint Friday. I recommend listening to that if you didn't already. That was a vibe. And you know, someone that I know, AFK, which is Crypto Class, had a collection in this Free Mint Friday. This was almost like the hexagon. This was the hexagon edition. All the people that were releasing Free Mints on that episode were well-known hexagons. And I think there was 4 or 5 Free Mints within that one, which is pretty large. And then what was my point? Oh, and then I had to get up super early for this wine tour. So it was absolutely hectic. It was, and you know what? I just decided at one point, I was like, man, how am I going to do this? And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Just go large. Everything here is stuff that I love doing and is fun. I'm not going to complain about having fun. The Tang Gang would be disgusted by that. So, you know, the Tang Gang motto is having fun is more fun than not having fun. And so I'm going to live and die by that theme. And so let's move through some charts while we're waiting for some questions to come through. So by the way, if you're just joining us, I will be answering questions from the live chat at some point. Let's just see how this starts to look. Is that going to fuck the vibe? Oof. Yeah, so basically, we're basically fading the fuck out of anything that doesn't lean into the Tang Gang. No apologies. All that stuff I said before was just to make people feel less nervous. The fact of the matter is that if you don't support Pulse Chain and you don't support the Tang Gang, we're going to fade the fuck out of you. And so this is and I'm using the collective we. Yeah, I've got no control specifically over what the Tang Gang does. But InvestX has been leaning in. And so now I'll be porting all my shit over to InvestX. I actually reckon it's better than Dex Screener. It's better than Dex Tools. It's better than this other one I saw that was like called Dex View or something. It was new to me. I've looked at them all. This one's the best one, in my opinion. And that's not just because they lean into the Tang Gang, but it does help to be Pulse Chain native so that when you land on the page, you're on the Pulse Chain shit. So unfortunately, in this stream, lots of these charts are still the ones that I had bookmarked before that are on Dex Screener, but they'll all eventually get changed out. So my entire streams will be all the InvestX. And so this is the loan token. It has doubled in price since when it found its floor at kind of like 1/10 of the base SAC. And now it's at 1/5 of the base SAC. So a 2x from the floor. So anyone, and I know a few people in the Tang Gang that were saying that they were scooping up a bag when it was down at this sort of 90% off price. Nothing crazy. Obviously, they focused their money on oranges, but they did well. They've already got a 2x just in this short amount of time. So that's pretty cool. It just happened to be the one that I had up. Let's actually, you know what? Actually, fuck it. We will use InvestX for all of them. I'll just bring them in one by one. So the next one's Proteus. The last time we streamed this chart it was back to its base SAC. Okay, sometimes the internet's a bit weird when I'm streaming, so we'll just fade that idea. But InvestX is the tits. It's really, really good. Look, Hex Orange Address and NFT on Pulse, both being featured under the Spotlight section. Oh, wait, fuck, you guys can't see that. Fuck. One sec. Let me just boomer this thing for a second. Here we go. Make me small, make this thing big. There we go. There we go. Oh, we don't need these anymore. That was just to make sure the stream was working. And yeah, so let's go on this. Oh, by the way, I was going to have this intro song and then decided not to because of copyright. But if you guys want the full experience, you can go to Kendrick Lamar, Cartoons and Cereal, Beat Play music video. That's the, oh shit, hopefully that music's not coming through. Whoops. Well, I guess that wasn't enough seconds to get a copyright strike anyway. So that's the official, oh, you guys can see that. I forgot that this whole thing is like sharing it. So anyway, that's the fucking, what I would have had as an intro clip. You guys can go and listen to that and then listen to this if you're a replay viewer. If you're live, stick with us because shit's about to get wild. So let's go back over here. Petius. Oh, and this has got all my crosses and stuff on there. So the last time we streamed, we were actually back at the base sack, and now we've gone down a little bit. Nothing crazy, just you know, down to here. That's cool. Petius is still one of my favorite, well, it is my favorite DEX aggregator and still one of my favorite protocols overall, because obviously speculation and swapping, or speculation through swapping, is one of the most well-used, well-defined, well-established, like as a adoption mechanism for crypto in general, as well as Pulse Chain, that it's really important. And so if that's facilitating the best swaps, then, oh, by the way, shout out Internet Money Wallet. They've actually now got a different form of aggregation, which is it actually aggregates all the individual. So whereas Petius is aggregating in the sense that it's looking and it's making a multi-path, multi-hop, multi-thread path, like multi-stage path. Internet Money is going a different approach where it actually shows you all the different swapping sites as individual prices. And Petius is actually one of the options that they aggregate. So we're using aggregation in two different ways here. Like we're using it in using the same term in two different ways. So you can actually hop on the Internet Money Wallet and see what the best deal is. Shout out KG. KG is actually going to come on the channel. KG, so that's another one in terms of category of things I want to do is interviews. But that one was only going to be like quite rare. So we had RG3 on the channel. That was the first and only one we've done so far. We get KG will be next, and then we'll look at some, but we'll only be doing it when it's, you know, dope motherfuckers that have cool shit to talk about. So that's coming soon. KG and I just have to find a time. This is the Pulse chart. So this is probably one of the ones that you guys want to see the most. I probably should have actually had the Bitcoin chart up here as well. This is how disorganized my streaming is today. So don't worry about those shit coins. Ooh. Right. So Crypto actually had a stream. Oh yeah, let me know, guys, if the audio and shit is okay. Crypto had a stream where he talked about whenever in the past there has been 8 weeks of green candles in a row for Bitcoin, every time there's been at least a 40% pullback. But I think what he's doing falls under what I always say about when people start talking about like the cycles is you're dealing with an incredibly small data set. Like I think he may have actually implied that it's only happened 3-ish times, or 3, 4, maybe like a handful of times in the past. So can you really rely on a data set like that? The answer is definitely not, right? So I wasn't even asking that question for you guys to give me an answer. Are you joking me? The answer is definitely not. That is not statistically significant. So what we want to do, before I forget, oh, another shout out or something that's worth watching, I think, there's a lot of cool content going on at the moment, is there's a Bitcoin conference called Unconfiscatable. And this year's particularly interesting. They're debating all the stuff to do with ordinals, and obviously it's got a better energy because the price has pumped literally leading into the conference. So everyone there is just on a better vibe. Art Basel happened as well. Mana was there. And so they got to have so it's actually quite rare that you actually have large conferences. And by the way, Art Basel is not a crypto thing. It's an art thing. And it just happens to be have a crypto component now, because obviously NFT style art is becoming such a dominant part of the sector, of the art sector, of the art industry. And it's understandable why, because it's the same as it makes it easier to sell the art, because you can sell it to anyone in the world. So now you've got a global market that operates 24/7, and you can sell it to anyone, and you can send it to them with no middlemen and blah, 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 blah. All the things that you love about regular cryptocurrencies, or cryptocurrencies in general, all of that can be applied to that shit. So for people that like art, the only sticking point will be a boomer attitude of, oh, I don't like it because I can't touch it. Once you get past that, or realize that your opinion doesn't fucking matter because you're a boomer and your whole gen is on its way out, and the younger gen are growing up with fucking iPads in their hands, literally looking at it, clicking on it all day, every day since they were fucking born. The nurses in the hospitals, literally one of their things that they have, there's like blood and shit everywhere, and they get the fucking iPad and give it to the baby so that it can, because otherwise the baby gets anxious. Okay, so these are, it's like the modern equivalent of a crack baby. It's born, it's already addicted to the tech. If you don't give it to it, it's going to get fucking withdrawals, bro. It's more serious than you guys think. And so we end up in a situation where, whether you like it or not, hey, Claz in the comments, whether you like it or not, digital art and NFTs are going to have a place in this world, and you can get mad at reality. You can get mad at things you can't control, or you could have a more mature attitude and be like, that's not for me. I'm just going to do my own thing, which is fine too. But then you're not going to get rich. You're going to have fun staying poor. And it also means you won't have NFTs, which is doubly as sad. So that's sad for two reasons. And yeah, the point is that from my memory, which I'll admit, my memory has not always been 100% accurate. Typically, for things where people are going and they want to get excited, the prices are usually either wrecked, or they get wrecked leading into and at the conference, because mofos that want to go to that conference sell that coin to fund them being able to go to the conference. Possibly, right? It's possibly one reason, or it could just be incredibly bad luck that maybe the crypto industry has some kind of curse over it. But we've broken the curse. We've got Bitcoin pumping at a Bitcoin conference. We've got NFTs pumping, at least on Pulse Chain, with Art Basel. Very, very cool. And the point is that Bitcoin is going up, like the Tang gang. Got the best looking chart on Pulse Chain. So if you haven't heard that song by Ted DeFi, we were actually singing it in the streets. I was singing it in the streets with my best friend, and we were literally singing it. We didn't give a fuck. Like, we were crossing roads, not even looking where the cars were coming, singing the song, just immune to the harsh physical realities, because we were on a higher level of vibration. And we did not care if people looked at us and thought, those motherfuckers are insane. They are singing about a vaporware chain. They're singing about a LARP chain that we don't even know about. And look at this. It's a flag. So Bitcoin's got a fucking flag. Let's fucking go. Holy shit, let's fucking go. By the way, I absolutely love the fact that, and this is an Ivan on Tech, so I'm borrowing a lot from content I've seen recently where they've said a lot of cool shit. Ivan on Tech was saying, have you seen how worried people are in general in crypto? every time, no matter what the price is doing, it's going up, it's going sideways, it's pulling back. They want the pullback because, oh, this price action on Bitcoin is unsustainable. You get the pullback that they wanted, and then they're still like scared and worried. And it's just, this is all perfect. The market climbs the wall of worry. You want people to be in disbelief, worried, and calling for pullbacks and staying bearish. All of that stuff is the rocket fuel. That's the rocket fuel. And the weird thing is, we slowly load it into the rocket while we're in mid-flight. Insane. I know you wouldn't think that's possible, but it's like we're those guys that siphon fuel out of people's fuel tanks, but we're doing it in outer space, bro. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Use your fucking imagination or get the fuck out. So here I'm using my imagination because obviously I only ask questions. I don't make future predictions even based on reasonably reliable technical patterns. Yeah, that's pretty insane. Yeah, that's good. I mean, that's not going to that's not an all-time high. Not yet anyway. So anyway, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, my scorecard against bears and haters is literally, I mean, I don't even know what my score is because I don't keep count. I'm above that, guys. I take the high road. However, I know that their score is 0. So whatever my score is, it's definitely winning because it's definitely a number more than 0. So scorecard shows 0V greater than 0, bears versus bulls respectively. Let's fucking go. Let's get to some charts that you guys actually care about though. We've got the pulse chain. We've got the old pulse chain here. So this was a line that I drew on Crypto 7's stream. It actually did pretty much bounce on that line that I drew. I don't think, yeah. So see how I've drawn that white line? I think at the time we must have been nearly at this line. And we absolutely did bounce off that line that I drew. So I wonder if my mum still thinks that TA is just fucking horoscopes for men. And if so, I'll show her this chart. So let's fucking go. I drew this line. We're going to delete this. That was just me having fun, pretending like there's some logic to this absolute insanity. It's all basically a dream. Assume that everything is a rug. It could all go to 0 any minute, and almost did, by the way. That was the craziest part. That Web3 vulnerability, I actually don't know if I'll ever be able to regain my faith in humanity in terms of what the other way around. My faith in humanity, it was humanity that saved the blockchain on that one. So, you know, normally I thought that the blockchain was coming to save humanity. And then on that one, it was humanity saving the blockchain. 100%. Now, I think it's fine. Look, I was exaggerating before when I'm saying that I've lost all confidence and stuff. It was very scary. It was incredibly scary for everyone involved. Not me, obviously, because I'm fearless. But for everyone else, it was super scary. And to me, I was thinking about it. I was like, fuck, like what are people going to be able to trust Web3 after this? Because it's going to be in the back of their mind like, yo, what if something comes up like this, but it's either worse or it's found first by black hat hackers, like all my mates. And the answer is we all already knew, accepted, and continually state that underpinning all this shit is social consensus anyway. So if anything, it just makes a stronger case for the Tang gang. It was another demonstration where the Tang gang handled business way faster and way more effectively than any other community in Web3, even though we all know the Tang gang is the only community. And so every other group of people that claim to have a community is just a group of people who all happen to hold the same asset. That's another Cookies quote. And I think there was actually another quote I said earlier in the stream where I was meant to give him credit for it and then forgot by the time I'd finished saying the quote. But these things happen. So this is good. Like, look, we're at a resistance level right now, according to my chart, but what the fuck would I know? So let's hope that this can, I don't even need this thing to go to the moon. If it can just stop collapsing and just either just go more reliably sideways or just slowly up, then everything would just be so much easier for me. Obviously, I don't have expectations and anything can happen, obviously. But it would just be great. It would just be good to have like a solid base to be able to rip some shit up. I've had some interesting conversations lately. I've had some very, very interesting conversations in and out of crypto. Let's go to the next one. This one's PLS X. So there was a head and shoulders here, like a doomer head and shoulders that actually called pretty much this. I think I drew this in retrospect on 7's stream. By the way, shout out Crypto 7. I actually stream on his stream. It's very nice of him to allow me to co-host with him once a week on Wednesdays, because he has built an absolutely massive channel with a massive following. It's the highest engagement per unit time of any Pulse or Hex streamer in the world. And it's like, in that metric, it's the #1 channel. I know some of you care about certain metrics, some of you care about different metrics, but if you care about engagement per unit time, it's the largest channel. So it's really nice of him to allow me to come on that channel and amplify my message, which I believe is important in terms of freedom and things like that, you know, using cryptocurrencies as a tool for freedom. And in fact, I should use this opportunity to mention one of the quotes that came out on the Unconfiscatable, that Bitcoin conference, was this idea that this, and I should have mentioned this when we were talking about the speculation. The speculation, and because, you know, I've always said green candles is the best advertisement. The speculation is what brings the adoption and the awareness on crypto. And then the education is what is the retention. So you've got to look at acquisition versus retention. So if you are focused on, we need more adoption, we need more adoption, we need more people to fuel this Ponzi, then you are going to need to go out and do the stuff that, like, create green candles or create like whatever you think is going to bring people in. So I would say like Petius, InvestDex, 9 Mil, Pussycat Farms, like the Orange Grove. Those are all things that actually help adoption, because people want to speculate. They want yield. These are the things that bring people into the communities and into crypto. And then the educators. So when people say, oh, well, your videos, and I'm not saying that this accusation has been leveled at me, but videos about education, I believe, or whether it's educational, sort of like trying to frame things in a certain way, I call it the bait and switch, something to bring people in and then something to make them stay, right? And actually, I have said this in the past. So I was actually already on this vibe, but I just think they worded it better, talking about acquisition versus retention. Actually, no, that is exactly the same as what I've been saying. I've always been saying that the green candles are a bait and switch. The green candles get people in, and then they learn about the life-changing tech and the mission statement, and then they may stick around. And obviously that retention rate, there's a loss along the way, because some people, when they get wrecked, they just leave. But the way that these guys explained it in terms of the educators, their role is to try and improve that retention percentage, is something I had never added to my narrative or analogy or whatever you want to call that thing. So it was, yeah, it was slightly different, or it did add something specific of value to this whole idea, because I'd always just thought this message is important to get out there. I want to spread this message, right? This message of crypto and its relationship to freeing humanity. And but I never thought of it. I never thought of that part as being potentially increasing the retention rate of the other thing that we'd talked about in terms of that bait and switch. So that's it. This is PLSX. It also got a bounce off this trend line. I'm going to head over to the comments very, very, very shortly because I just saw Sammy rocked up. Hi, Sammy. How are you? I'm on this. Sammy also streams on this channel with us on the, so Day 43 has got a stream on Tuesday nights, Australian time. That's where I'm on there with Sammy and others. And then Dozza's got a stream on Fridays called Happy Hour. So it's Happy Hour Australian time. So it's like around 5 p.m. on a Friday. I think he might even be doing it for the East Coast guys so that they can have it at their actual happy hour, I think. So it's like mid-afternoon for us. And we've got other ones as well, like Bluey and Day 43 do a not DeFi. So anyway, subscribe to this channel is the short version of where I was going with this. There's heaps of quality content, in my opinion. People do seem to like it, you know, the Australian, because it's mainly sort of Australians who are on the channel. So I guess this is the Australian, this channel's the Australian version of like Hex Asians or something. There was a channel. So yeah, very cool. So hopefully this bounce holds. It's another a higher low now because of this bounce. And so, yeah, we'll just see if this trend line stays intact. Remember that Head and Shoulders, I did say I drew that retrospectively. So not as awesome as if it had been identified early. The HOA website, which is, so it's the Tang Gang website, I guess, if you will, that the hexoacoin.com continues to get updated. I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to start doing really well in organic search results, because the way the search engines work, I'm told, is when you've got a site that is constantly having fresh content and has like keywords, but not in a forced way, you end up actually ranking quite well organically. And by the way, if they care about traffic, this site gets an absolute metric fuck ton of traffic. It almost gets DDoSed whenever there's a mint on, because people are like refresh. So, oh, what the fuck? Thug bunnies. I haven't seen this. The shit is going on here. Mint is live. You fucking fuck. Fuck. You motherfuckers. They didn't warn me. What the fuck? How did this happen? And it's like really low, what's it called? Fucking thingo. Motherfucker. Do you know what? Let me just turn my camera off for a second. How are we doing this? Let me just fuck this off. Boom. Okay. Because I just need to check something. Oh yeah, that's cool. That's all doxed anyway. So, but you know, better to be safe than sorry. So I just want to actually jump to NFT on Pulse. Those motherfuckers. How dare they? I'm going to get fucking Greta in here. We wait for the day that Greta joins the Tang Gang. Oof. We're basically going to have to just ignore her. Can you imagine just constant messages in the Tang Gang like, oh, do you guys know this is harming the environment? Shit, and just everyone's just ignoring it. It's just in the feed. It's just in the feed. No one replies. No one even sends a single react. So Hexographer, are you the creator of this thing, or are you just saying this in general? Because it's absolutely fucking dope. So if that's yours, mad shout out. I'm going to be using it as my intro every time, even when the streams that are not Tang Gang focused. And guys, apologies that this stream is a bit all over the place, although that kind of was the point. So first of all, I just need to just time out for a second, go in here and say, just ask everyone, how fucking dare you do a free mint without... You know what the good thing is though? You can get these NFTs on secondary, which is why I had to turn my screen off, because I just wanted to make sure that if there was a wallet associated with this shit, because I've been like, not so obviously normally I do absolutely no crypto on this machine other than stuff that specifically has to be done to do with stuff on this machine. But obviously, you know, over time, now I've got like hot wallets on like nearly every machine. You never know where you're going to be sitting when a free mint drops. So obviously still nothing that would be detrimental that if it actually did get hacked or whatever, because obviously, you know the deal. So, okay, there's quite a diverse range of art styles within this collection. I really like the ones where it's like pulse chain colors with sort of like the cyberpunk vibe. That's probably my favorite. Oh, you guys can't see this. Sorry. So the stuff like this, where it's like this cyberpunk kind of stuff here. I also do like this ninja vibe here, like anime vibe, the ninja vibe. There's quite a mix though, right? Like you've got some black and white, you've got some stuff that's borderline realistic looking, like almost photorealistic. Then there's like a chick, like it's actually a girl that sort of is dressed up like a bunny rather than an actual bunny. It's really cool. It's really cool. Like it's really difficult, in my opinion, to have a collection where you are doing different things so the art style changes and still makes it look like it is a collection. It's obviously a high risk and it's difficult to do, and I think they've nailed it on this one. It's a great example where you don't look at it and go, oh, this is all, it's like a fucking child's sticker book where it's just completely wrecked. Like this is actually really good. So anyway, the freaking NFT on Pulse is dope. They lean into the Tang gang hard. Don't forget about their Crypto Bums mint, which is here. Shout out to Crypto Bums and the mint. Let's see how that mint is going. 20% minted out. Beautiful. So that's just going to tick along, right? Like we don't expect collections of this size to just instantly mint out, but I think as more and more people realize, and by the way, this 20% minted are people that are going to be telling their friends, like, because you know what I mean? Like the more people that have them, they're going to be like, hey, yo, I got these. And I think they're actually going to be really good. Even if it's just post-rationalization where they want to believe that they made the right decision by seeing their friends make the same decisions or whatever. So now we've got, 2,000 potential entities who are going to be shilling the idea of this. And obviously it accelerates towards the end. So I'll say this last part through here, the last few thousand are going to go real quick. So this is a similar but not identical method structure as the Pulse OGs, where by owning the NFT, you'll be entitled to future revenue from this ecosystem, which is a very, very strong ecosystem. They get Google search ranking, which is something I mentioned earlier in the stream to do with the Tang gang website. I really think they've got some very unique and powerful advantages in terms of, so if you're assessing businesses or investments or startups or whatever, when something has got attributes that can't be faked and are really strong and that also create a competitive moat in a fair way, like, so not a corrupt competitive moat, but a legit competitive moat, then that's a win. So I'm a big fan of NFT on Pulse in general and that ecosystem, and their devs do a lot for the Tang gang completely free of charge. They lean in, and yeah, it's good to see that is minting out. By the way, another marketplace that deserves a shout out, which I think, let's just pick a random collection. In fact, let's use Klaz's collection in here. Oh shit, it must have sold out. Oh no, sorry. So we've got, so Bullish has split this up into upcoming, active. So upcoming are the ones that are coming. although I guess this Thug Bunnies one now, I mean, this stuff all happens so quickly that obviously that needs to now be moved to minted out. And then these ones are the active ones. So under active is typically where you can buy them on secondary and stuff like that, or then mints might also still be available. Sorry, you can buy all of these on secondary, obviously, but in here you can actually still mint them. Upcoming is usually the ones that actually haven't dropped yet, and that you're basically just waiting for them to start the mint. And oh yeah, all the Pulse Chain IPFS front ends are here for hex staking, the bridge, the scanner, and the Pulse X DEX. So I'm glad that he's put them over there, because obviously these lists are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so, yeah, Bullish has put a lot of effort into continually updating and modifying this list to keep it looking clean and to keep it looking really clear. And so yeah, definitely always keep an eye on this to make sure you don't miss free mints, and then always take a look through all of these active mints to see if there's any that you might be coping if you miss them, because it's usually better to buy them when they're getting minted, because a lot of the time with Tang collections, they actually go up on secondary. But let's use Klaz's collection as an example here. You click that, it takes you to the page, right? And so you've got that, and here there are actually 3 different collections that are all sort of part of the same aesthetic. So, and they've all got the same first word, right? And so this one's 128 out of 350. So that one's almost half minted. And this one's almost half minted. And this one minted out in literally a second. Like it was like effectively a 1 block mint out process. It was just like so many people jumped on this one. And this was actually the most expensive one. Like this was a paid mint, whereas the other ones had some free ones at the start for Tang members. And now they're paid. So, but the reason I wanted to come to a page like this, by the way, I really like this artwork. It's really good. And so while we're here, but I just picked this as an example, as it was one of the recent free mints from the Tang. So this was one on Free Mint Friday. And so what you can do is on each collection, you'll have these links and so Bullish typically picks or the artist picks the marketplaces that have leaned into the Tang the most. So Beatbox always features Tang NFTs on their front page, and they've been doing that nearly forever. It's very dominant. When you go to Beatbox, most of the collections that you see are Tang or Tang related NFT collections. NFT on Pulse, like I said, they have just in every way that they can think of have leaned into the Tang. And then Pulse Market recently created a way that you can buy and sell NFTs on secondary market using OG, which is the incentive token of the Pussycat Farms, which has accelerated fuck the words. We effectively have been creating this circular economy, or aspects of a circular economy, where this currency can be used for more than just speculation and more than just incentivizing, like as a yield incentivization of behavior that benefits the Tang, right? So, and this has been a truly organic group effort. The people involved is diverse in nature. Now, the person who originally came up with the idea, I believe, was Cookies, but that doesn't matter, right? Like, as in, it has relied on everyone coming together. Like, so obviously it first of all required this currency to even exist and be associated with those yield farms. Then it required people to jump onto that idea once Cookies said it and get enthusiastic about it. It required all the artists to get involved and start pricing their art for mints in OG or discounted when priced in OG. So a lot of them have been doing dual currency, where they have a price in either PLS and or ink, and then they'll do a discounted price in OG. And then now that Pulse Market, so let's go and look at one that's sold out, right? So now that Pulse Market has made it so that you can sell your art and buy art. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Holy shit. Holy shit. Look at this. Great example to pick, because everyone is pricing Klaz's art on secondary in OG, because otherwise you would see the dual currencies. It would be like it would show the prices in OG and in other currencies. So obviously at the moment, everyone is, let's filter by just the ones that are priced. The floor price at the moment is 5555 OG. Obviously there's some hex memetics there. So there's only one for sale for 5555 and one for 9639. So there's a bit of an attempted memetics there in terms of the 369, maybe. I'm not sure, but regardless, right? So this is quite amazing. And so this collection, remember, is only out since Friday. So when it's got the all-time volume and the 7-day volume. So, oh yeah, so this was all in just one single trade, was this 2369. Someone obviously listed theirs for that much. That's not an insignificant amount of OG. Like that's, I'm not sure exactly what the price is at the moment, but, and in fact, we've got a, let's skip ahead to this price chart. So 2.6 cents. 2.6 cents. So let's take a look at this. Get the old calculator out like a fucking boomer. Actually, not being able to do simple math is actually the opposite of being boomer. Boomers actually know how to do math without a calculator because they learned that shit. So I'm actually doing opposite of boomer shit here, but let's just do it anyway. That's $62. So a secondary sale, and by the way, Tang Gang got these for free. So Tang Gang, oh, sorry, getting confused. This mint was paid. This mint, that was all paid. So, which is good. Like, as in, it was, I think Klaus came up with some interesting, call it game theory, call it like incentivization or marketing or like however you want to frame it, in terms of having some aspects of some collections that are free for certain entities and others. And then the leverage that you get from the Tang Gang, which is, it's not like, it's a very clean and transparent relationship. No one makes any secret about it. The Tang Gang does not try to imply that relationship doesn't exist. It absolutely does. The Tang Gang's transparent about it. They say, you know, if you show that you're going to do something that benefits people within the Tang Gang, and effectively, there's also it's not just the fact that the Tang Gang gets free NFTs. It's also the fact that the artist, by giving the Tang Gang free NFTs, people publicly see and might ask the question, well, why do these guys get free NFTs? Like, why do these guys get a free component of your collection? And the answer to anyone that's paying attention is fucking obvious. However, it gets people asking the question. It gets people seeing that there's value within the Tang Gang. You know, so this is a very deliberate and very mutually beneficial arrangement that has been constructed. A big portion of that also is actually a Cookie's idea, if not the entire thing. I'm not exactly sure on the history of that, but it's been actually an interesting. It's actually been an interesting filtration process of people. In fact, let's not get into it. But this is really interesting. I wasn't aware that there had been secondary sales on here. And so, and I did want this to be part of the stream today, to have, to look at NFTs. And there are collections. So there are collections that I have an attachment to now. Like you guys will see on Telegram, my PFP on Telegram is a fucking neckbeard Deriva Funk, which is one of DJen Waffle's, the derivative collection of his neckbeard Orange Punks. And now people have started, the guys in the Bow meme coin, which is a derivative meme coin of the yacht ecosystem, have started memeing me into those memes using that PFP, which now makes me not want to change that PFP, because then it won't be as relevant, like as in I won't be as associated to the meme as much, you know. So it's interesting how these things work, where now for me that has caused possibly an even greater attachment for me, even though I was already a massive fan of that collection. It's literally, let's go and take a quick look at that. And we will do a Minfluencer stream where, in fact, let's look on secondary. Let's look on secondary and just go funk, see if Deriva Funks comes up. Something that NFT on Pulse does really well is the search bar is like really, really, really good. I'm not sure if this one is able to handle. So let's just go neck beard. Oh yeah. Sorry. I jumped. I had to hit enter. I didn't realize. See, on NFT on Pulse, as you type, the collections come up in a drop down. So I thought it was flipping out. I thought this one was glitching. So let's go to over here. This is the collection that I'm talking about. So my PFP on Telegram is from this collection. What the fuck? Someone accidentally sold one for 1 PLS. Fuck, bro. How devastated would you be if you accidentally sold one of these for 1 PLS, bro? So that's the, by the way, that's the default. So if you go to sell something and you don't actually change the price and the currency and you just click list, it actually lists it for 1 PLS. They maybe should change that. They should maybe change it so that the default doesn't have an entry, so that when you click list, it's like, yo, you need to put a fucking number, because that's fucking tragic. These are very, very, very valuable NFTs within the context of Pulse Chain. I know there are like NFTs on ETH that are much more expensive, but so here floor price is 9,000 OG, which I think is actually a really good price. So 9,000. Yeah, that's only $234 US. That's actually really cheap. So, but we don't know that, you know, there might be other ones on other marketplaces where it's cheaper. Typically, so one of the things that I've found is interesting is the Tang gang have taken this idea of OG being kind of like the currency that you can get a discount to add value to, so to indirectly add value to the OG currency, is that people will always know in general. So in secondary, obviously it's a free market. Anyone can do whatever the fuck they want. But what I've noticed is the Tang gang will typically charge less if they're pricing something in OG. They'll either, because you can do dual pricing on these marketplaces as well. So they'll either do a price in PLS and then a price that's cheaper in dollar terms in OG. Now, obviously the prices of those two assets fluctuate. So on any given day with a fixed listing, that could, and OG actually goes up quite a lot in price. So that could actually flip around at any moment, and probably in the long term, as time goes on, OG has actually been going aggressively and relentlessly up. Like if you look at its price with a PLS base, it just goes up. So if the listing's there for long enough, what originally looked like a discount in OG might actually, well, the trend would suggest that it will actually become more expensive for the OG listing. But obviously the person listing it can just change that over. But the point is that if we ignore all that, at the time of the listing, it's incentivizing people to get the OG because you just get a better deal. So then it incentivizes people to go, oh, well, I've got this currency that I was going to use to buy it, like, or I was going to sell this coin to get the Pulse, to get this art. But if I just get OG instead, then it costs me less. And then they get the OG and they send it to someone who is actually more likely to diamond hand the OG to use it for upcoming artist mints. And so the people who value that coin the most are offering a discount because to them it's more valuable. So they're like, I want that coin and I'm willing to effectively take the risk that I'm getting less in dollar terms now for an asset that is actually that I value more, right? And when I'm saying it's just a random person in the Tang gang, right? Although that is my opinion as well. I do the same thing. So yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's given a lot of, it's just really interesting how this OG thing has been developing in terms of getting used as a currency. Obviously, the point here is that pulsemarket.app quickly recognized that this thing was happening in the Tang gang with this OG circular economy thing, and just went, we need to get onto this and be the first marketplace to go. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see other marketplaces doing it as well, particularly with how much those other marketplaces have leaned into Tang gang stuff, if they've got the capability of doing it. I know that with this marketplace, they already had a drop down, which has all the currencies, whereas I don't know if the other marketplaces do it like that. So it's really interesting. It's really good. This is the collection that I was just talking about. Obviously, you can come here and buy it in OG, but you can also look on other marketplaces as well. These are all really cool. I instantly fell in love with the aesthetic of this collection when I first saw it. So I actually got to mint some of these. Oh yeah, that's mine there. That's my one that I actually drew that by, like, so I didn't actively go and buy that. I actually got it on a mint. So I got it on the mint. So although it was a 2-stage mint. So I was actually correct the first time when I said a mint, but just to clarify that, I think it was on the set. It was either, I think, because I bought some on both mints. So I actually don't remember whether it was first or second. But yeah, when I saw it, I was like, yeah, I can imagine that kind of being, there's something about it that kind of does maybe not necessarily look like me, but there's something about it that kind of does have a representation of my vibe. Like even though I don't wear glasses, like the nerdiness of it kind of looking like it's wearing glasses, kind of like the nerd spec. And then the fucking beard obviously is a neck beard thing. And it's got like kind of spiky hair. And I do wear beanies, even though you guys don't see me wearing them, because it used to just be when it was like really fucking cold on mine sites and shit. So yeah. And when I put it up, a few people did comment. They were like, that PFP actually really suits you. Like it really does. Like, you know, some people put a PFP up and you're like, that doesn't really represent their vibe very well. So yeah, big fan of the collection. There's so much cool. You know, there's this one here that looks like it was done on paper that's been folded up. Just these really cool. This is another one actually where the style of art, you've got these 3D glasses here. You've got ones where it's all like twisted up in like here. So it's getting warped and twisted. Obviously some black and white ones. This is another example of what I was talking about before, where there actually is various art styles within this collection, but still when you look at it overall, it definitely reads as a collection, like very strong as a collection. So yeah, so I'm a collector and enthusiast of this collection, and there are others as well that I'm a big fan of. And so I will do a Mintfluencer stream where I'm just like literally going through collections, and hopefully some of the newer collections by then will actually be completely minted out so that we can actually look through all the things. Like, because with ones like, say, Clazzers, if I was to go to one of those ones, you'll only see the ones that are minted out. You can't see the ones that haven't been pulled yet. So there's no point going and looking at collections that haven't been minted out yet. Obviously, this one here has been. So yeah, that's really exciting shit. I did say I was going to go to comments, didn't I? So, you know, I'll just leave that on the screen looking pretty while we go and look at comments. What's up? Ash says, what's up? Throwing some oranges in the chat here. Very cool. Lots of people saying hi at the start. Hexographer's offering to make a proper version of that intro. Dude, all I need to know is how I make it so that when the stream starts, so rather than it just being, it's starting and it's just like me just sitting there like an idiot and then it runs it, how to make it so that when the stream starts streaming, I guess, you know, maybe what we actually need, and this wouldn't even necessarily need to be you to do it, is because it's quite a short thing, which I like. I don't want an intro that, and no disrespect to other streamers, I think they're in, like, long intros are great. I particularly like Crypto 7's intro. It's really, really good, even though it's longer. For me personally, I just want to get straight into the content, and so I don't want a long intro. So I really like this one. It's really powerful. It's got like you did an amazing job with it, man. Like, it has that like electronic kind of thing. It's like, it's sort of in a similar style to what they'd use on maybe like on a news show where it's like between guests or something, where they're just like trying to like reset the, like, you know, where they're like like doing shit, but so much better than that, by the way. That's borderline disrespectful to like say that it would be something that, but I'm just saying in terms of the quality level, its production level is literally up at a level that you would see in multi-million-dollar legacy video industry shit. And it punches hard. Everything about it I really like. The only thing is because it's so short, and when streams start, there's like this weird gap, which I think is why a lot of people have a countdown. So maybe what I could do is basically run a countdown so that the stream is definitely running, and then click on this, and so that it runs the intro. I've just worked it out. That's how to do it without harassing you, like without taking up your time. But anyway, Hexographer is offering to make a longer version, or like a more, but dude, it's already perfect in my opinion. So, but yeah, but just know that any work that you do on it, it's going to be getting used on my channel. And so I don't want it to sound like I was trying to discourage you from working on it, but in my opinion, it's already good enough in audio, visual, length, everything. So there's some people love misquoting. People love misquoting and just like being ridiculous, trying to stay relevant by trying to join my fan club or be the president of my fan club, just talking about me 24/7 in a negative light. Guys, what I would encourage you haters to do is, so I'm not even going to say your name because it involves a coin that I'm not a fan of, even though I'm trying to be more open-minded to other projects that are potentially experimental in nature. I need you guys to go and take like an adult course, like a mature age course on reading and comprehension, right? I need you guys to learn how to fucking read, and then come back to me in fact, don't come back to me, because what you guys are trying to say is you're trying to tell me what I said, and you're wrong. I know what I said. And so you guys are not only misquoting me, but you're saying wholly ridiculous shit. Now, I'm not bothered. You can waste your time doing it. I call these guys my fan club. I literally call these motherfuckers my fan club because they just literally just go on about this every day, like claiming this ridiculous stuff, like making these ridiculous accusations, things that I didn't say. You know, when they're asked to present evidence, they never can. It's quite hilarious, but you know, yeah, it's funny and sad at the same time. Like, obviously, it's really pathetic. Like, and I definitely hope that they get help. Like, I hope they either learn to read, and that's the problem, or they just get some other, like, get a hobby, man. Get a hobby. So that's that one. What else we got here? Heaps of people saying hello. Hi, Sammy. Hi, Klaz. Legendary. I'm really glad you guys were able to make the stream. Ponzi Fest. BTC is looking so good. Like, look, people have been calling for the price collapse or big pullbacks for like a really long time now. It's always possible. It's always possible. Look, this crypto thing that he said, it's possible. But I think Ivan on Tech said it better, where he said, even if there is a pullback, what do you think is going to happen after? So who cares? Who cares? Like, who cares? Buy more is my new, well, it's not even a new motto anyway. It's been over a month. So yeah, we came up with that who cares, buy more motto on the last stream, or just before the last stream. So, okay, now people are saying hi to each other. Cool. That's okay. Any questions in here? Because I did say I was going to do a bit of Q&A. No, that's not crazy, Hex Monkey, to be buying more of any crypto, especially not crypto quality cryptos like RH coins. That's not crazy at all. So it's completely reasonable. Obviously, everyone needs to make their own decisions, but it's completely reasonable to be buying. I've been buying all sorts of shit. So obviously, mainly Tang stuff. Man, the Tang stuff. We're gonna get to some charts in a bit. Holy! My new investment thesis is whoever makes the best memes, I'm buying. I'm buying the coin of whoever makes the best memes. So if you think that if you already have a coin or a coin community and you think you can make the best memes, and I'm not really that much of a meme obsessed person, right? Like obviously the Tang Gang has somewhat increased my love of memes and my realization of how important and relevant they are, and how much they can do to you know, fight battles of fucked up misinformation and corruption and shit like that in the legacy world. And so memes obviously I've increased my valuation on memes, but I'm just looking at it from the fun side of things, where I'm like, I really enjoy. And so I think if we were to have like a meme competition, coin community versus coin community, this week has absolutely been Bow, which I'll admit I'm biased because it's a yacht derivative. So, but their memes, and so lots of them have been by Mark, and they're just absolutely incredible, like absolutely incredible memes. They're so funny. They're so well put together. Maybe I might be subjective. Maybe he and I are from a similar gen or something. So his style of what he thinks will look cool matches mine. And I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. And maybe not everyone thinks the same as me, but I care not. I care about what I like. So obviously subjective. Which Pepe are you getting, Sammy? Are you getting the community one? Anyway, that's a coin that I actually do have some. It's crypto bombs. So yeah, so while we're talking about meme coins, that's the HOA chart, by the way. That was what the price was on the last stream. So that was a month ago. And the price has just gone, fuck you, straight to the fib. So now we're actually at the highest. We're actually at the highest fib extension. We actually overshot it. So we'll have to see what happens there. I'm going to do a little bit of a mix. I'm going to go comment, crush haters, back to the charts, and then rinse and repeat. Hex Monkey's a fan of the Tang Gang and HOA. People are throwing more oranges in the chat. Someone said that was D bunnies, but I don't know what you're talking about now because that was in the past. So something that I talked about in this stream belonged to D bunny. Oh, fuck. It must be the cyber bunnies. I'm going to have words with D bunny. Where was no, I'm joking. Like, I don't expect any special treatment from anyone in terms of warnings or inside information or something like that. I'm more mad at myself because it's very rare that I miss, because I keep a close eye. I think it's because I partied so much this weekend and wasn't paying as much attention to the Tang Gang chats as usual. So it is my own fault. I take responsibility for that, which, by the way, is super rare in the crypto industry. What? Someone taking responsibility for their own fuck up? Wait, what? Is this even a crypto stream? The fuck is going on, bro? Something's not right here. Something is very unusual about this guy taking personal responsibility. Weird. So weird that for an industry that is actually all about self-responsibility and self-accountability in terms of the structure of how these assets even works, there's literally no accountability taken. Everyone just wants to blame other people. But that's okay. We do it a little bit different on this channel. So, Sucker Free Saturday. Oh, yeah, fuck, I was fucked. I was so fucked. Oh, my God, I was so fucked. I had been on a wine tour all day, and then someone that I absolutely can never say no to asked me if I wanted to go out. And by the way, I did want to go out. So it wasn't like I was like, oh, I don't want to go out, but I'm just going to do it for her. But like, I actually did want to go out. But you know how it is at the end of a wine tour. Like, it's, you're fucked. Like, you're basically fucked. But I did quite well. I actually did surprisingly well. I pushed through. So I was out, and by the time I got home, I passed the fuck out. So I would have actually, I don't even know what time that was. So I was either still out or asleep when they did Sucker Free Saturday. So that must mean I missed some paid mints as well, because Sucker Free Saturday normally has paid mints. Maybe that was a paid mint. Oh, so much to catch up on the Tang gang. So yes, that's absolutely literally any time, Klaz. I'm a fan of your collection, and so that is absolutely no trouble at all that it has become a feature collection of this particular stream. And token balance will stay. I'm not sure what you guys are talking about there. So yeah, Klaz is thanking the Tang. Yeah, so Klaz, it's definitely a two-way street, Klaz. Like, as in, it's so the Tang gang is definitely awesome, definitely amazing, and definitely brings something unique to assist artists in getting greater voice and greater visibility. But without those artists, we wouldn't be able to have that aspect of the Tang gang. The Tang gang might, and I would say almost certainly would be doing other things that are also awesome. So the art thing and the NFT thing, it's not the only thing that the Tang gang does. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend that, like, without the artists, the Tang gang would be nothing. Although an argument could be made that would the Tang gang have risen to such relevance and notoriety in a good way if we hadn't had those early artists leaning in who were well respected throughout crypto and able to bring the memes and the art that actually made people start to take notice. We will never know for sure because we can't go back in time and run a different timeline. However, if I had to guess, I would say the Tang gang would maybe not have risen up at all, or maybe a safer way of saying it would be like it couldn't have risen as fast. So it's one of those, it's probably most likely one of those two things. And I hope no one takes offense to me saying that. Yeah, I'm also bullish on HOA. Happens to be the chart that, look at how the universe wanted to bring this comment and this chart here at the same time. And so, oh yeah, look at that. I've got through all the comments. Fuck yeah, no questions. See, no one's questioning my shit except for that little hater at the start. You know, life must be tough being in my fan club, because imagine being in someone's fan club where you're literally tweeting about them every single day and that person doesn't give a fuck about you and your opinion. Like, refuses. The maximum that you ever get being in my fan club is me calling you pathetic. That is literally what you sign up for. And by the way, these guys know this. They know that all they ever get from me is the lightest of shout outs with no name, no number. Just literally just like, you guys need to go and fucking pick up a history book or a children's book or just any kind of book. Just go and pick up any book. Just any book will, from where you are now in terms of your intellect level and your ability to actually say something of relevance, literally any book that has ever been produced, even if it was produced by someone who is fucking retarded, would elevate the level that you're at. And so that's my financial advice to those haters. And I hope they take it on board, because we're here to make the world a better place. You know, we're here to improve people, improve the way that they enjoy their own life. And I can't imagine it being a very fun life, being just being a spiteful hater that goes around saying completely incorrect negative shit about people and making that the sole focus of your entire day, that you happen to be like one of very few, because I didn't even announce this stream until the last minute. And these dudes are literally waiting there to come on the stream. Go and look at how early that fucking idiot's comment was. Literally just waiting there to come. Like, do you not have anything better to do with your day? Like, the rest of us in the Tang gang are just having fun 24/7. And you guys are literally spending your day waiting for the chance to maybe be relevant, to maybe get a nameless shout out on a fucking on a stream that only has like a fucking couple of thousand subs. Dude, come on, bro. Holy shit. That's way more pathetic than I even thought, dude. Holy fuck. Holy shit. Fuck, bro. And they're probably still watching just in case. Like, yes, I got another shout out by this guy whose opinion probably doesn't even matter that much. Like, look at my follower count, bro. It's not that high. Like, have some self-respect. Like, at least go and troll someone that you might get some visibility. Like, actually don't. Like, just be a better person. Like, what? Like, don't. Like, I shouldn't be giving tips on how to troll more effectively or get engagement, or for them to maybe have, because it's Richard actually talked about this. He's like, imagine, and by the way, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that these guys are effective at all. They have like 0 level effectiveness, but for the sake of this, this thought experiment of what tips I could give these guys to troll more effectively, or where their time would be better spent if they insist on living such a pathetic life. But it's bad advice, right? Because remember what Richard said. It's like, imagine you can be super effective, but the direction you're heading in is the wrong direction. Now, you may or may not realize it at the time, right? That's the sad part. But it's bad. Like, you're being hyper effective at making the world a better place. So luckily, these haters are usually very ineffective, right? So that's a good thing. But I shouldn't be sitting here potentially saying things that could improve their effectiveness and being like, oh, God, maybe troll someone with a higher follower count or whatever, because that's making them slightly more effective at something that's actually detrimental to society. So, and it's not good advice anyway. So I take that back. I retract that. Just keep it ineffective, fools. Keep it ineffective. Keep looking foolish. You know what? When I'm off stream, I'll try and come up with some kind of framing that could be a positive for the way these haters behave. But the problem is, like, because they have 0 impact to my emotional state, it's like I can't even do the thing that most people say where they're like, oh man, I use these haters as fuel for me to like succeed even harder, and now I'm like even more of a winner because these haters fuel me. It's like, I can't do that because they literally have no impact at all over my emotional state. So I can't even use it in the like trying to turn a negative into a positive, because they're literally so irrelevant to me that it just doesn't actually impact my shit. And it sounds like I'm talking about it a lot, but I find it intriguing. Like, so for me, it's quite an interesting. I'm like why? Like, because I would never spend my time like that. So it's just interesting for me that someone would spend their time like 24/7 round the clock, just trying to get my attention and saying incorrect statements about me. And when I'm not famous. So what the fuck are you doing? Like, so I don't know. It's an interesting experiment, or it's an interesting thing to think about. But ultimately, then after I've finished that thought experiment or that light questioning, they fade into irrelevance again, and I don't think about them until the next time I see a dumbass comment that comes through. So, and possibly that's why the reason why they have to keep doing it so relentlessly is because I think deep down they know that it's like literally not relevant to any shit that happens in my day at all, except for when they're chirping about it. So they literally have to keep doing it over and over and over again. So at least that maybe is the reasoning behind that aspect of it, that they don't ever shut up. Oh, and by the way, the amount of effort the amount of effort that they have to go through to do it, because so many people have them blocked and shit. So it becomes very difficult for them to find media. And obviously here is one media that they can, because I don't really regulate the comments that much. I don't have admins in the comments to block comments and stuff like that yet. Like, as in, we'll do that if it gets bad enough. Not with the haters. I don't mind haters being able to comment, but in terms of if scams and shit start rolling through the chat. Don't get any ideas, scammers, because we will shut that down if it starts to happen. But the point is that, what was my point? Oh, yeah. Yeah, the effort that they go to. Like, imagine if they were to put that much effort in instead of trying to be in my fan club. And it's almost like all of them want, like, to be the president of the fan club. Like, they want people to know that they are my biggest fan. And so imagine if they were to put that much effort into actually getting rich in crypto, then they could just get rich and pay someone else to troll me, or just get rich and stop giving a fuck. Like, just get rich, and then you might go and do something that's fun rather than like attempting to troll. And by the way, their trolls are so weak, dude. It's really, really, really laughable. It's really laughable. I'm giving them too much airtime, even though I've left them nameless. I'm actually giving them a little bit too much airtime. I do find it such a hilarious topic, though. So let's go through a few of these charts since there was no questions. Oh yeah, look, this is the OG chart, and I'm going to flick to the pulse. You guys can see this, can't you? Yeah. So this is the pulse. This is OG with a pulse base over time, over like with daily candles. Now, the last time I looked at this, I was on a different, could it have been maybe when I've got the chart, like I could go and get it, but I've got a chart where I basically have a line that basically just goes up and to the right and just points straight to $1 million. So I don't know, maybe some shit like this, but ultimately so I always say to people, ignore the price action that happens like really early on. And also keep in mind that a lot of this price action in the chart was prior to the Tang gang adopting OG as such an integral part of the Tang gang. So this section through here, I would just ignore it, even though that's not what this blue line was. That's to do with, I must have been streaming at that point. Anyway, we're going to update that, put it here. So I'm pretty sure that this pump here was the DJ, when DJ and Waffles decided to price his art in OG, was that original pump, or maybe one of these ones or whatever. And look at how it just never came back down. People just started adding liquidity, and ultimately the shit just never came back down. Never, ever, ever. People say never. I'm saying never. It never came back down. Maybe that was the line that I had drawn on there. So that's interesting. But yeah, look, these down here was like 200 pulse. So if you could have picked up OG at 200 pulse, that was like pretty much, apart from that wick there, that was pretty much the lowest you would have ever been able to get it for. And it was only for seconds. Then it went all the way up to like over 1,000, although if we exclude the wicks, like 850. And now it's at like mid 400s. So by the way, I think part of the price action that doesn't look great recently was to do with when that Web3 vulnerability, that third web vulnerability thing, people were like, oh my God, like NFT's broken and shit like that. And so then that use case where OG is going to be quite a dominant currency in terms of buying art and buying NFTs, maybe people sort of started to falter on that narrative a little bit, and they're like, oh, maybe I don't need as much OG. And some of the artists' mints were getting delayed and stuff, and there was a lot of uncertainty. So that actually could have been that red candle there. But we don't need to fit narratives. In general, the thing goes up. The thing has been going up historically. And this has been quite, I think what's more important than going up is how well it's stayed up at this level here without just, you know, most emission tokens just bleed out. And part of the reason is they've got super low emission rate. So that they only release 2 tokens per block, which is super low compared to all the other emissions. By the way, I noticed that the Liquid Loans protocol has updated their website so that now the APR is actually yearly. Because, by the way, for anyone who didn't know, APR and APY, the A in both of those acronyms is annual. So they had, and I knew there was something wrong because I was like, I am getting so much loan token. This is like fucking crazy. And it didn't match what the percentage was. So I think the percentage that they had in there was the daily yield as a percentage. So they've fixed that now. So they could have done it either way. They could have just changed where it said APY to say daily yield and left the percentage the same, or they times that percentage by 365 roughly and get the thing. So now you'll see on Liquid Loans, those percentages are way high. But part of the reason why, and you know, we saw on this InvestDex chart here, and by the way, even though a lot of the charts we've looked at today have been Dex Screener, InvestDex is the way to go. And eventually all of those will be InvestDex. That protocol token for Liquid Loans is also in a very strong uptrend now. That's a super strong uptrend. Oh yeah, notice how I haven't even set this up yet. Lines aren't even orange on this. So yeah, really strong uptrend for loan token. We'll see what happens. But part of the reason why I think it went down so much at the start was because the emission rate is super high and continues to be quite high. Whereas with these yield farms over here, oh, wrong site. They've got a similar logo. So yeah, so you can get to the yield farms through this website as well. Here we go, the Orange Grove Farm. It's under utilities and tools. And so I'm going to start to wind this stream up. We'll just whip through these charts. Yeah, so in here, what have we got? If you go home, yeah, see emissions per block 2, and emissions per block 2, and so that's very small. And what else was I going to show you guys on these farms? I think that was about it. Yeah, I think that was it. And also that's how you get there if you don't know the website. Cool. So what else we got? Oh yeah, so let's whip through these charts. By the way, if good quality questions come into the chat. Oh, there's a couple of questions here. I don't know what HOA is. Can someone give me a brief overview? It's a multi-billion-dollar decentralized autonomous marketing agency. Join the Telegram. You can get to it through that website I was just on. So hexoacoin.com. Go there and then go more. And then somewhere in here, actually, maybe it's under contact or something. Contact. Yeah. Welcome to the Grove. Twitter, Telegram, Discord. So I would say definitely follow the Twitter and the Telegram. If you want the freshest info, the Telegram is already following it. The Telegram is where it's at. The Telegram is where it's at if you want to know what's up. And so, yeah, it's the talent. I've said this before, but the talent that is within that group is so insane. And it's more than just artists. Like, it's more than just artistic talent and graphical talent. It's absolutely insane. And then because we've got such a talented collective, other people that are talented identify that and they're like, I want to be a part of what's going on there. So now we basically the talent recruitment, we don't have an HR department. The talent just recruits itself because they see what's going on and they desperately want to be involved. And the answer is always yes. If someone that's talented wants to be involved and they don't bring like any weird side shit with it, like, so if someone's going to bring talents, but they're also going to bring some weird, like, talking about politics, or they're going to be like negative about shit or whatever, then their talents are not going to be enough to carry them. It doesn't matter how talented they are. But if they're willing to leave all of that other shit at the door, and while they're in the Tang gang, they're focused on the Tang gang and bringing their talents to the group, then that is definitely going to work. or if they just don't have any, like if they just genuinely don't have any of that stuff that they want to talk about that is negative or sort of like not what we want the group to be focused on. And by the way, there's no group of people being like, this is the rules and this is the rules. Everyone has collectively decided that having fun is more fun than not having fun. So that's a self-imposed community rule that everyone in there agrees on. So if you want to bring shit that's not fun, you're going to basically remove yourself from the group. So have I seen the Heist of States yet? No, I haven't. I actually haven't. Ash thinks I'm being ruthless. That's good. That's good. So like PLSX, who is the gatekeeper on Beatbox? Well, look, there's no gatekeepers on necessarily on any of these protocols. It's like, but we all are aware that different things require various different. Let me give you an example, right? Say you've got a DEX and I shouldn't even have to explain this, but if you've got a DEX and there's logos, my fake OCD always kicks in when a coin that I'm trying to trade has no logo, right? And that's up to the DEX. I gave an example earlier in the stream where they're like, we want to have all the logos, but we don't want to spend dev time adding logos of coins that end up like, it's not even just from a scam risk. It's like you're putting this dev time in and then that coin becomes irrelevant because the group is not, there's no community support for it, right? So they have to protect their fucking devs and their dev time. So, and that, by the way, that's just an example. Every protocol has different things that need to be, if there's a website and there's a front end and stuff, decisions need to be made. And that can be done by community governance, or it can be done by a fucking dev, or it can be done by some dictatorial founder or whatever. But I wouldn't call that gatekeeping. I would call that, but in fact, Giacomo had such an amazing talk. And you know, this is a legitimate compliment because the dude blocked me. So I've got no love for people who block, who block legitimate haters or legitimate commenters. But the point is, he was talking about censorship. I recommend you go and watch it. And he was talking about censorship, and he was talking about what is and isn't censorship. This is not censorship, right? So what a NFT marketplace decides to put on the front page so that you can see examples of what NFTs you can buy, they are not censoring you, bro, right? That they're allowed to decide. Censorship occurs, according to Giacomo, or one of the examples, or one of the definitions that he landed on that I think most people would agree is reasonable, is if someone is actively trying to stop you from being able to get your message or content out in all areas, right? They're actively going around trying to make sure that your message does not get out, and possibly with or without acts of violence. So, i.e., if it's with violence, then that might even be an even stronger definition of what censorship is. But even if it's without, it's the attempt to silence you universally is censorship. If a marketplace just says, hey, these are the ones that we think look cool, or we want to support the Tang gang by putting their collections up because they've done a lot to raise awareness about NFTs and stuff like this, and this is something we want to do to reward them, go and make your own website, or go and ask a different marketplace if they want to feature your shit or whatever. Like no one cares. No one is actively, they're not contacting other marketplaces and being like, hey, let's all collude to not show this person's art, or contacting the government and being like, oh, this collection's got nudity in it. Can we fucking make sure that, or what about the children? Like, so that would maybe be starting to go down the censorship route. And by the way, I don't mean this to sound like I'm attacking whoever it was that made this comment, because the comment didn't even specifically say that, like, I'm getting revved up in general about this topic, not specifically at the person that asked the question. So, and the answer is I don't know. Like as in whoever that entity or entities are that have the control over what goes on the thing, but they probably have a Telegram if you want to ask, and then they would be able to ask. So, yeah. Oh, okay. And so the one that you're mentioning was a Tang Gang collection. Oh, okay. So this is added context to what the question you were asking is. You're saying, oh, well, this collection here actually is a Tang Gang collection, even though there's no formal definition for what a Tang Gang collection is, and that collection wasn't shown. So look, it could have just fallen through the cracks. Like they might have just, because we have to admit there's quite a few collections that are coming out through the Tang Gang, so they might have just missed that one, or there might have been some other reason why it didn't feature on the site or whatever. But yeah, definitely go and ask. I'm sure obviously I don't know because I'm not involved in the process, but I would assume that it was not malicious. Like I would assume that it was not. So by the way, the Cyber Steampunks, if it's the collection I'm thinking of, I did actually like their. Actually, let me not go and check just in case it's one that I wasn't a fan of. I don't want to have to say it live. And you're going to be, I've got no poker face. So you're going to be able to tell as soon as I pull the collection up, whether I actually like it or not. So let's fucking go to charts instead, because green candles always put a smile on my face. DILLY, look, DILLY, which is, by the way, I wanted to mention this coin because it's the unofficial official coin of this stream, because it wasn't created by anyone associated with this stream in terms of any element or anything. Like it wasn't created by the DILLY DAO, it wasn't created by me, it wasn't created by the people who own the channel, which are all separate entities. It wasn't created by whatever, but it was obviously a fan of the idea. And because they sent, I think, the whole supply to the DILLY DAO, I was like, well, that's unlikely to be malicious since we have the whole supply. So when I say we, the DILLY DAO has the entire supply. So a bit like how when I refer to the Tang Gang as we, it's like I mean it in the sentimental sense, not in an ownership sense, obviously. And so with this one, I was going to say I haven't done the research yet, but if they are willing, if whoever created this coin, I looked and no one has ever touched the LP. The entire time, this LP has never been touched. So they put the LP in, they sent the rest of the supply to the DILLY DAO, and then the coin has just done its own thing since then. And you guys are going to think that I just like drawing lines on charts that go up and to the right. Like you guys go, oh, this guy thinks he's Richard Hart. Everything's pointing to $1 million. But the point is that all of these charts do point to $1 million. So shut up. The point here is, this has basically been going up. Like it's on a bit of a pullback now, but largely this thing's just been going up. And this pump was ridiculous, but after it crashed back down, it's been grinding up. And so I'm putting a message out. If the people who created that coin are still watching the streams, either burn the LP or send it to the DILLY DAO. Either of those, and then once 100% of the supply is accounted for, and in a spot or in spots where that I can be reasonably confident, or that the DILLY DAO at least can be reasonably confident, since they're the fucking show sponsors or whatever. Like I don't even know what the right word for it would be. Oh, by the way, I haven't mentioned Pussycat in a really long time. They were an early sponsor of the show and continue to be so supportive. You know, this show wouldn't exist without that, without the support that the Pussycat team, they're fucking dons, man. They're fucking such dons. They go through and they submit the fucking, the NFT projects for every single NFT collection that comes out through the Tang Gang or is at all related to the Tang Gang. They submit that shit to D-Bank and get it listed so that you can go into your Rabby wallet and see the collections. They are constantly pushing everyone as much as possible in any fields that they are involved in to try and push everyone to be better, but not in like an annoying, like, make more memes, guys, make more memes. Guys, can you make more memes? Like they don't do that shit. They're like, hey, we want your projects and your NFTs and stuff like that to be as awesome as possible. Let us help you do this. Is it, you know, or hey, we noticed that this thing is whatever, you know. So they're constantly on the lookout for where things can be improved. They're constantly trying to link, a bit like the NFT on Pulse guys, right? So Crypto Knight and his devs, and also the 9 mil devs, and also the InvestX devs, and like, so they're not the only ones, but they're another example, and they're a really strong example of they're constantly putting work in to try and better the community. They have leaned into the Tang gang so hard, it's almost been to the detriment of their own project. But I think things will swing back around at some point, and it'll be like, I think they will be. I think they already have been rewarded, you know, in terms of the love and respect that they have received for everything that they've done so far, and people in the Tang gang obviously have been paying attention to their stuff as well. But so it's almost like a reverse shill. They're so obsessed with trying to do things about the Tang gang, they're virtually never talking about their own shit. They're virtually never shilling their own shit. And so, and when I say virtually never, like, I mean never. Like, I've never seen them shilling their own shit, which is fucking bonkers. So this thing's up and to the right, pointing to $1 million. We've got the Pussycat team. Oh, and I think super recently I saw the Pussycat team posting shit. It doesn't matter. In fact, it was in the gated chat, so I probably shouldn't. And it was about a different project that I won't talk about it. So, and don't worry, it's not alpha, like as in it's something that they noticed that could, like a website thing. So like a potential front end issue. So let's go and, you know, look, sometimes I actually even think to myself, I'm like, how is this particular thing that I'm doing not already done by the team that, so, because it would be some project that might not even be in the Tang gang. And I'm like doing something that is for their, like, to try and make sure that their shit is better. And I'm like, how is it possible that this fucking community over here has got all these people in it, but it just seems like all they want to know is when is the price going to go up, and they're not willing to actually look at what needs to be improved and actually do any of it. Whereas the Tang gang, and specifically Pussycat Life team, is the exact opposite of that, where they're just obsessed with wanting everything to be as good as possible and going out there and doing it so that other people don't have to do it. And a lot of this shit goes unnoticed at the time, but even more so in future. Like I said in a VC once, in a Tang gang VC, I said, people are going to come into this industry in the future and they're going to notice two things. They're going to go, okay, the Tang gang is literally the most dominant thing that exists in all of Web3. And they are going to not know the level of effort that went in by all of these people to get it there. And the number of people that are joining that mission is increasing every day. And the amount of work that the people are putting in who are already in the Tang gang is increasing every fucking day. It's already ridiculous how much gets done. And it's all voluntary. It's all for the love. And it's an absolute powerhouse. And I don't see it slowing down. In fact, I see it accelerating. So all of that has absolutely nothing to do with this chart. Nothing to do with this chart. Other than to say, if you guys, whoever has this thing, if you want to burn it or send it to the DILLY DAO, I will make this. So yeah, if I can account for 100% of the coins, then we can be sure that there's absolutely no chance of like potential future maliciousness. We can make this the official coin of the DILLY DAO, of the DILLY streams, or the DILLY DAO, or whatever the fuck, however the fuck you want to do it, whatever you want to call it. It is whatever you say it is, okay? Whatever you think it is, that's what it is. Sue me. So next chart. This is one, I'm absolutely shocked that there has not been people in the chat. Normally every other stream that I've ever done, there's people been in the chat being like, talk about hookers and coke, talk about hookers and coke, talk about hookers and coke. And every time I tell them the same thing, I'm like, I need to see a chart that is worth showing on the stream, or some motherfucker in your community needs to send tokens to the Dilly DAO. That is how these streams operate. Watch episode 1 if you don't know how the shit works. I'm actually thinking that the Dilly DAO is probably going to need to like take a vote or somehow work out what that shit needs to be increased to. The way that I would recommend that they do it, but I don't have a say in it, but something that I'll be kind of like putting forward as an idea is, from now on, rather than people sending tokens into the Dilly DAO for it to be token gated and shown on these streams, it needs to be an LP where the tokens are actually paired with PLS. So what that does, and I won't get into this in too much detail, but one of the most powerful things that does is two things that are really cool about that. One, it means someone can't just create a token with a huge supply, pair it up with something to give it a market, send the tokens in. They could make those tokens look really valuable, send them in so that it grabs the attention of the Dilly DAO and they feed it in as one of the tokens that will be on stream. And then they can just rug the LP or whatever, right? So by them sending it pair, so then they can't just be sending in something valueless that they've artificially made like it looks like it has value, because it's paired with PLS, which natively has value on the chain. And it means the Dilly DAO is getting some side income from the fees the entire time that it's sitting there, because the Dilly DAO historically has not sold coins that get sent in. But if it was paired in an LP, then you would get to see like the Dilly DAO would actually kind of be making money, even though it'd be tiny amounts of money. But that would be cool as well, right? There's other really positive reasons about doing it that way. Look, this has even gone up since. So this was where the price was when I started preparing for this stream, and it's fucking pumped in the last, look at that. Yeah, in the last 15 minutes, it fucking pumped from there to there, which is, it might be small. Let's measure it. So between me starting this stream, and you know it wasn't someone who knows about the stream, because there's no one in the chat being like, look at the chart, it's pumping. So if someone pumped that just for the purpose of seeing a pump, so anyway, what's this? It's like a 7% pump. Legacy finance bros wait all year to see a fraction of that pump. We do it casually while we're waiting for the stream to start. Again, Anon, I am using we in the royal sense, the royal we, right? So I am not affiliated with this project in any way, but I still like to use the word we, because I mean we as in crypto. We do this, we do that. We say, sue me, when we don't like your attitude. So the Dilly DAO actually has an LP of this. The Dilly DAO actually has an LP of this that it created with its own blood, sweat, and tears. So this thing, because it's pumped another. So the last time I was on stream, and I told these motherfuckers, I said, I love your enthusiasm. I love the fact that you have multiple people coming in here on my streams, begging for me to show the chart. That's great, right? However, your chart is wrecked. Your chart is wrecked. I can't show this wreckage I can't show this Titanic level wreckage. And by the way, we're getting to a coin called Bow soon. On a stream that's about pumps. It's a Dilly's down under stream, and you want me to show shit that looks like it's about to fall off a fucking cliff and never come back? You need to give me a reason to put it on the show. So someone in their community just said, "Oh, is a 14.5x pump enough to get it on the stream?" I'm joking, by the way. No one said that. I'm saying they told us with the chart. They didn't need to come to the Telegram and say, "Hey, bro." I mean, that's nuts. That's nuts. And that means that the coins that got sent into the DILLY DAO, even if it was $10 worth of tokens at the time, must be now worth like a couple $100 at least or whatever. I'm not sure. Depends how many tokens the DILLY DAO put into the LP and stuff. So there'll be maybe some impermanent loss or whatever. There's a bit of a war on impermanent loss going on at the moment. I don't know whose side I'm on. I just watch from the sidelines and just watch the bloodbath, sit back, have a sip of coffee, and not give a fuck as usual. It's kind of my thing. It's kind of my new thing, not giving a fuck. And I learned it off this. I learned it off this TikTok chick, and now that's a joke, by the way. I don't actually ever watch. I don't have TikTok. I don't watch their shit. The only time I see TikTok is when someone grabs a TikTok and then they reformat it so that they can post it somewhere else where I can see it. And it's not about caring that China's spying more than any other government, because I care about all government spying. So it's nothing against China, guys. Nothing against China. So what else we got here? So yeah, so that's nuts. That's almost back at all-time high. In fact, it did make an all-time high, but I just missed it. That's fucking bonkers, guys. Hookers and coke for the win. I mean, it makes perfect fucking sense that you would have a coin called hookers and coke and that it would be performing well, because what else are you going to spend your crypto on? So it always was a bit weird when you had a coin called hookers and coke and it was going down in price. You're like, that's weird. You would be thinking that a shitload of people would be spending money on hookers and coke. And just from a vibe point of view, I'm not necessarily condoning that type of behavior, but just purely vibe wise, you would think that even people that don't actually spend money on hookers and coke kind of like the idea of doing it. Like I guess it's like it's the description that people use for the ultimate party, even though I actually don't perceive that as being the ultimate party. That's not how I get down, but you can imagine that if that's the description of like the ultimate party, like it's like if you've got hookers and blow. So yeah, as a sort of like as a loose synonym for ultimate party, then in that sense, then yeah, fuck yeah, let's go. So I wanted to bring up GDAY because I've been quite happy with this sideways price action. I think that's actually quite strong. And you know, this is an Australian coin, so it should probably get a shout out every now and then on an Australian stream. Technically part of the Tang gang as well. So even though it has gone down since the last stream, it's mainly sideways. And if you look at the history of the coin, it's effectively just sideways. Like, check out this. Check out if you have these fib levels over here. Holy shit! Speaking of fibs, I haven't posted the video on Twitter yet, but friends of mine installed all of the LED lighting at the largest event, like the largest inner city event. I should be clear, there's larger events, but they're out of the city. But in terms of, this is like the largest inner city event. And they did all the LED light work, and they've put Fibonacci spirals on some of the LEDs, and they said they wanted to do more, but they were running out of time, and there were certain things that the client had asked for. And so they didn't have as much time to do sort of artistic creation stuff that was more their vibe and how they would want it to look. But they were given quite a lot of, apart from saying like, hey, this is the minimum of spec of what we want, then they were given full artistic license to do whatever else they wanted with these LED lights. I've got a video from, it was actually quite dangerous where we were. Normally, so we live in a nanny state. And so normally, and maybe I shouldn't even be saying this publicly because this event is still open, but yeah, let's not talk about like work and health, safety, fucking dangerous setups. But let's just say where I've filmed this fucking footage from, that you guys will see once I put it on the timeline. By the way, follow my Twitter if you do want to see shit like that. It was from quite a fucking dangerous place to be standing, which obviously the general public can't go there. But in terms of like public liability, if I'm up there, then you as an event or whatever, as an owner of the property or whatever, you still theoretically have an issue, right? So I guess the point of this story is that I'm a bit of a badass. I like to take risks. You know, I'm willing to put myself at risk of physical injury to get the ultimate video to share with you guys. That's how I fucking roll. Bit of a daredevil, just basically just doing dangerous shit like all the time, whatever. Like, you know, it's just part of my fucking, just part of my life, bro. It's just, you know, I don't even think about the risks, yo. I just do it. I just do it for the people. So but the point is that, what was the point? Oh, I think that was the point. I think that was the point of the story. Just explain to you guys how much of a badass I am. And it was really cool. It was fucking amazing to watch from this vantage point. Oh, no, that was the point, is while I was up there, one of these guys was like, hey, do you want to smoke weed? Like, do you want to get high? And I'm like, of course, like, because I hadn't smoked weed for a really long time. And also I was drunk as shit from the wine tour. So obviously your decision-making process is not really that, you're not like, no, I better not do that. This is already highly dangerous with me just being up here drunk. Better not add to the risk. I'm like, hell yeah, more risk equals more return, right? That's what most of the people in crypto have been telling me, not understanding that it's a ratio that can change. I was like, why don't I just behave literally like the rest of crypto and just assume that more risk equals more potential return? So, you know, I wasn't completely irresponsible, but I had a little bit of the choose your own favorite euphemism for just getting blitzed. And then I safely at some point navigated my way back down. But there was a period while I was up there where I was like, am I fucking stuck up here until I come down? Because and what about if this event ends before that happens? So yeah, but you know what? You don't even need to worry about that shit, because when you're as badass as me, I mean, I could have just done a flip or something down and got down that way. So yeah, we were actually doing flips earlier in the day at the wine tour. So I was already warmed up. It wouldn't have been a problem, yo. And so we're losing viewers. Because people are not realizing that I'm fucking flexing on them as a joke. People think that I'm really that obnoxious. So let's move to the next chart, because people love seeing green fucking candles. So this is NBC. This is the token that is actually associated. You know how I was talking about that PFP that I have on Telegram, which is the neckbeard Derivafunk. This token is actually by the same, like the guy who made those NFTs, DJ Waffles, made this token, but he completely like community did it. Like he selflessly just paired it up with like a shitload of HOA and then just fucking burnt the whole thing. So literally had zero of the supply, never even bought any. So most founders, even if they burn the complete LP, they at least buy some of their own token at the start, which is fine. Like there's nothing wrong with that. But he didn't even do that. He was just like, fuck it. And that's the kind of guy he is. He's actually kind of got that attitude where he's just like, fuck it, whatever. So this thing was going down for a long time. People didn't really know about it. People didn't really understand the provenance or how it was associated with different shit. And we're just basically generally fading it. And then at some point, I think we started talking about it in VCs and Twitter spaces more. And I think Cookies might have admitted that it was one of his you know, I think Cookies maybe made a comment like, if you feel the urge to go and degen, it might as well be on a coin like NBC rather than some other fucking garbage. And I'm not going to say that this entire fucking pump here was because of that one comment. That would be not only irresponsible and likely to be incorrect. It's also, you know, it's like, it's borderline dangerous to even imply that one man's fucking commentary could have so much power over the chart. So that's not a thing. And so, but look at this. Theoretically, if this is a flag, you guys know that I'm just so obsessed with drawing flags. But by the way, there's a reason for it. There's a reason why I've been so obsessed with flags is Bitcoin and all of the things that are correlated to it, and even some of the things that are not, have been moving up in flags the entire year. So when I come on here and draw a flag, fucking pay attention. Pay attention to the fact that I am not saying any shit that is a future prediction of price. I'm simply asking questions. Could this be a flag, Anon? So, you know, what the fuck is going on here? It might be interesting to actually draw a fib retracement across here, seeing as there's been so much price action, and say, let's ask the question, does this fib tool actually look like the levels have been respected internally? Is it internally congruent, if that's even the right word for what I'm talking about? Yes, supported here. Yes, rejected here. Yes, supported and rejected here. Supported here. No. Yes, hard. Not really here, but somewhat in between here. Yes, found support there. Close enough. Yes, magnetized to that fib level before breaking down. Not so much on this particular one. This one was in the middle of nowhere according to this, but not every single one has to be the same. Resistance here, yes. Resistance here, yes, until the breakout, yes. Support before a massive breakdown that just absolutely went all the way back. And then support here, yes, but only because I've fucking drawn it there. So because obviously we're trying to guess where the bottom of this move might be, right? Now, let's take a little look at what's the retrace on this. 57%, beautiful, healthy retrace in a bull market. Where does this flag go to? Well, I mean, the flag fucking obliterates the fib extensions. So if you do you believe the fib extensions? If you believe the fib extensions, then to go to that top fib is a 6x, like 500%. And the top of the flag is a 16x. So if you think that sounds crazy, you either haven't been involved in a crypto hyperbull before, or you were and your mind is fading you out. Your mind is trying to fuck with you. You're literally getting played by your own mind and you don't even know it. Try and snap out of it. If I was there with you in person, I would start shaking the shit out of you, but I'm not. I can only do it with my words, right? I can only verbally shake the shit out of you to hope that you've got some ability. Like, it's like I'm calling to you through some lucid dream where I'm like, remember the last bull market. Remember the last bull market. It was fucking crazy. Look, the gains like this weren't even a big deal. You would be fading that shit. You wouldn't even get out of bed for that. So, and the part is, I'd be like, you're asleep right now. And your mind is partially telling you not to get out of bed because the gains so far have been weak as fuck. And that part of your mindset is correct. But the other part about that these gains can't happen is fucking wrong as fuck. This is fuck all. This would be fuck all. Try to break the cognitive dissonance between most people in crypto have got these conflicting cognitive dissonance shit going on in their head right now. would you be happy with a 10 to 20x average across your crypto bags between now and the top of the fucking hyperbull? People say no, that's not good enough. What the fuck? 20xing my entire net wealth? Fuck off. That's not good enough. I don't want that shit. I would be sad. That would make me a sad panda. Okay, here's a chart that has a pattern that does a fucking modest 6x. Nah, that could never happen, bro. Nah, bro. Nah, bro. How would that happen? It's not like we've got fucking institutions coming into an industry that's the size of one corporation. We've got literally single corporative entities that are larger than our entire industry, but no way that we could do a 10x on a fucking shitcoin microcap. What? You're great. Oh, trying not to say stuff where people get upset about mental health issues. So, well, you choose your euphemism. Choose your euphemism of me telling you that you're fucking out of your mind. You're on some shit. So that's that one, just asking questions there. And the question here, the question I'm asking is, are you out of your fucking goddamn mind? That's the question of the day. That's the question that chart is asking you. It's putting it in your face. It's saying, it's like, yo, wake up. Is this really what you're here for? Is to lie to yourself about, like, you're lying to yourself about what you're here for and about what the potential is at the same time. And those lies are in two different directions and you refuse to acknowledge it. Then that's okay. If that's how you want to play it, I'm trying to be supportive of all people in the Web3 space. So what's going on here? That's done a 4.5x since the last stream, which is FURU. Oh, now just the founder of FURU and I have had some disagreements lately. And one of them lately was definitely had me hovering my finger over the like market sell this, like every single one of this entire fucking tokens that I own, which would maybe paint a fucking candle on the chart that you might not want to see if you're a bag holder. Because there was a disagreement where I believed that the founder of this coin was fudding my fucking PLS bags after not looking at data correctly. And then worse, that wasn't a problem for me until I patiently explained how they were doing the math incorrectly and how they were misinterpreting the data multiple times in multiple different ways. And that person just continued to FUD my bags. And so I was like, it's all fun and games if someone wants to joke about being a FURU, but if that shit is going to negatively impact my bags, then I can't stand for that. So we'll see how it goes. I don't want this to sound like a threat, because it's more of a promise. But I found that exchange to be interesting, and we'll just see what's going on. But you know what? Look, let's bring balance. That's probably not fair to present such a one-sided argument. He and others have done a great job of creating a really good website that they continue to build. You know how I was praising Bullish and the Tang gang for the HOA website? So they're building a decent website. The price performance of the token is really good, which is probably the main thing that made me not just fucking nuke the bag, like, because then I would have to cope if and when the price goes up, which, let's be honest, most Tang gang coins, their trajectory it points to $1 million. Sue me, but it's up and to the right. It points to $1 million. Look, I've just drawn this line, and just by complete coincidence. I didn't tailor this line in any way. I just connected some candles up. It points to $1 million. Points to $1 million. You guys think that's a fucking coincidence? So, no hate, but I do really want to continue to try and make sure that people aren't fudding my bag while also doing it with incorrect math. And we'll just, you know, this is 4.6x, even though the math doesn't quite work like that, but 362% gains since the last stream. Again, it did make an all-time high, just like that other one that we're looking like, hookers and coke. And then it basically, so this is a common theme basically. Did this one do it? Oh, so NBC didn't quite make another high out of this. So look, some people would see this as bearish, but the bullish case is the flag that it's potentially painting out. And some people say like, oh, this is quite a long time to be flagging without breaking out. But this flag pole was fucking gigantic. So the flag can be larger. That's, in my opinion, it's kind of there's a ratio there that is before you start to go, okay, this is probably not flagging. So let's move on to another coin before I say more inflammatory commentary about coin founders. You know how we do it in Web3. And so this is PEPE. I don't know why I had this one up. I think that might have been an accident, even though I've got no hate. I think this is a great coin. So it's up 12% from the bottom. That was where we were on the last stream. Is this the 0x? Yes, this is the 69 PEPE. You know what? I didn't mean to have this coin up, but now that it's up, let's actually talk about how this kind of shit makes me bullish. This kind of shit makes me bullish. This is the sound. This is the waveform of the sound of haters and cheats getting rinsed out, panic sellers dumping. You can hear their mild screams as they imagine their future cope as this thing fucking rockets off to the upside. Sue me, we don't know for sure. I'm just asking questions. Will it rocket off to the upside? Does the saying, bigger the base, the higher into space, have any weight to it? All this and more, find out. But the longer this is an interesting pattern, right? Like look at the fact that we are here. We've basically been in this range, and I don't think it's a coincidence. There was a wick over here where it actually wicked down to this exact level, which happens to be what's formed the exact base that we've bounced off like 4 times right now. And here's the resistance level. So we're effectively, we've been in a sideways channel since the 30th of August. So a multi-month sideways channel. Some people could maybe say, well, this is quite dangerous because we all know that like support levels eventually will break down if they keep getting tested. But I don't really see it that way because there's not really a trend in this market. We're just going sideways. So if we were in a downtrend, I would be concerned about this having already supported the price like 4 times. But if you see this as being a sideways channel, it's not as scary. We don't know what's going to happen. This could go to 0 like everything in Web3 is definitely going to do at some point in the future. It's all vaporware. It's all a rug. It's all going to 0. But we're having fun in the meantime, and it could also go to the fucking moon. Anything is possible. And so it's just interesting to see that this range is not fucking small. Not a small range. Let's go like this. Yeah, it's like an 86%. So there's nearly a 2x in that range. So if someone was playing this range, if they'd spotted it early and was playing this range, they could have been flipping nearly 2x. And there's no guarantee that that's going to continue on. I'm not suggesting that that's a good idea. And in fact, we've been in this range for quite a long time. So it's actually probably a bad idea, but you decide. Is it a bad idea? I'm just asking questions. So someone's bullish. Mr. Crypto JSY has just joined the stream. By the way, Mr. Crypto JSY is another Tang Gang member that puts in a lot of work. And so maybe I missed it early, but are we due to have PLS dominance or straight to alts outperforming on PLS? The framing is incorrect. That would imply that PLS is like a Bitcoin, and it's not. No offense. No, that's probably going to offend like every single person that watches this channel. But I'm ready for something to take the, I'm open-minded to the idea that something could take the crown over Bitcoin, but it hasn't happened yet. And until it does, I'm not willing to talk about the dominance of anything relative to anything else except for Bitcoin. There's Bitcoin dominance, and then there's shit coins. Like there's Bitcoin and alts. And so and sorry, this is just for my own assessment. This is for what I'm willing to take, because there's a billion different things you can take into account for your investment thesis. So just for the way that I look at the markets, that's not something that I want to spend time looking into and trying to get an idea whether that is something that I can modify my investment thesis on. Like I said, my investment thesis at the moment is very simple. Do your memes bang? If yes, I'm buying your coin. If no, I'm not buying the coin. That's how I'm investing at the moment, and the dominance of PLS over the other coins. And I think something that's going to fuck up this idea of doing like PLS dominance is the largest assets on PLS are RH coins that are going to be fucking so tightly correlated, or they're going to at least have some correlation that kind of fucks the dominance, because as they all go up, your PLS dominance is going to look like it's going down when really nothing has changed, because those other RH coins, there's multiple of them and they go up. So I hope that explains just one of the flaws in looking at something like PLS dominance. But anyway, if you want to do it, you might find interesting shit. I don't want to discourage anyone from looking at data and stuff like that if you want to look at it, but it's at the moment, it's of no interest to me. But definitely come back to me if you find something interesting, or you think it's able to be used as some kind of like something that's noteworthy that can be taken and used to modify investment theses or timing or whatever. Not that we do much timing the markets in the Hex community. We're more like holders, and now thanks to spooky LP providers. So, right. And then would you agree that most users will take profit from I try not, even though I'm going to be contradicting something I did earlier in this stream, where I did give a potential narrative. I can't remember what it was, but I gave a kind of narrative of how people might behave. I always advise against doing that, because this is so I give myself passes of doing it, because I understand how, like, I understand the limitations of doing that and how like wrong you can be if you do that shit. So, and I don't want to, I know it's harsh for me to be like, I can do it because I understand, because I've thought about all this stuff really deeply, and other people shouldn't do it. Like, that sounds really dumb. However, in general, it is not a good idea to take a narrative that sounds reasonable and apply it like it's going to be something that you can trade off or that you can actually rely on, because this shit is so fucking dynamic and has so many factors that it's very rare that such a simplified narrative of how people might behave will actually have any relevance at all. So you're more likely to get wrecked if you try to do this. And I like how you framed the question, asking, do you think that most users, so it's almost like in your question, you're identifying that, hey, if I take this narrative and it doesn't end up being the majority of people that behave like this, then it's going to be irrelevant. So your question already actually sort of highlights the problem that I'm saying is involved in doing this type of thought work. So diplomatic answers. So yeah, so I think, look, every cycle we've got more and more network participants, which makes it more and more difficult to try and group people together and say, well, people might do this, or people are going to do this. I think that actually becomes less and less relevant as we get these new adoption cycles, and the crypto space becomes more diverse, with more people and more types of people, more entities of different scales, with different investing strategies, more sophisticated investors from legacy finance coming in and stuff like that. So I hope that answers your question. And thank you so much. That does mean a lot to me for you to make this comment about diplomatic answers, because I do try to always get a balance, particularly if I find myself going off into a rant where it could sound like I'm being rude to the person that asked the question, which has actually happened like more than a usual amount in this particular stream. It's I try to bring the balance back. So I appreciate you saying that I've got diplomatic answers in general. So we've been going for 2.5 hours. So hopefully that makes up a little bit for the fact that I haven't streamed for so long. I did say that I invest in coins where the memes bang, and so they would absolutely include coins like Caps Lock Gang, which actually is quite low in price at the moment. Obviously, no guarantees that it's the ultimate floor. I actually brought this chart up without actually looking at it. Did I update the... So, you know, look, like you can't really lose in terms of looking at charts, because if a chart's down, then it could be a good buy because the price is low. And if a chart's up, then it's great for showing green candles, right? So Duck's another favorite coin of the DILLY DAO crew, or the DILLY DAO group, governance. Well, I don't even know what the pluralization of, like, should we call them dons? The dons of dons of DILLY DAO. The dons of DILLY DAO are fans of this Duck token, which also has been, you know, so this all looks fine. It all looks like healthy price action. It went, you know, this was quite a significant drop. Oh shit, that was the right one. Let's race through these, but that was quite a drop. Oh no, only 50%. Healthy bull market pullback, yo. Healthy bull market pullback. Let's fucking go. Oh, okay, that phone has died. So I do need to check my messages. Actually, there was something I was going to go and do today. And so 2 secs. So Duck's a favorite, and they've got a Twitter. I need to check in whether they're making memes or not. Glass and Yacht and Bow, they're all coming. They're all meme coins where they've been putting in work. This looks like this chart hasn't been on the stream before, which is weird, because there are a group of people that outsource their skill set of degeneracy to the DILLY DAO. And the DILLY DAO leans on them. Think of them like degenerate consultants who suggest coins that could be on the show that are not necessarily, have not necessarily met the token gate, because sometimes the DILLY DAO does like to mix that shit up, and because there's no specific rules, right? Like, well, or the rules can change according to the DILLY DAO. So, and I'm pretty sure that Glass has actually been one of their requested coins, or one of their suggested coins should probably be a better term for it, and for a few times. But anyway, you know, it looks like it's found support down here on this level here. That's where the price is at the moment. Decent price action. I haven't actually researched this coin, so I don't know what it's about. Yacht is obviously, this one, it has been grinding along at the highs. I mean, if we adjust this line now to just not break any candle bodies. Yep, I knew it. Points to $1 million. I knew it. I could, dude, I don't want to do woo-woo shit, but it's almost like sometimes I get this, like, this sense, and I'm like, I bet this is going to happen, or like, I bet this is going to be like this. And this time it's obviously, you know, I can't see the future. I can only ask questions, right? So, but I had this sense that this line was going to point to $1 million, and then it points exactly to $1 million. Fucking, I would say it's crazy, but it's actually not that crazy. It's actually pretty, yeah, it's not actually that crazy when you think about it. So yeah, Yachts had a few things happen recently. I think they've got some stuff coming up, but obviously we don't make forward-looking statements. And there's I think there's airdrops. I think there's more airdrops coming up. By the way, this metric here is almost certainly wrong. So in fact, that's an important note to make. And this is probably one of the important reasons for porting all of these graphs over to InvestDex. Because at the time that I make that porting, InvestDex actually shows the V3 pools from 9 mil, which are going to be so dominant. So this shows that this coin has only had $8 of volume today. Lol, it would have been way more than that. So let's just search for Yacht. So see how this one says volume $8, but volume $12. So yeah, this website doesn't even show the ones where all the volume is going through it. Because I fuck this coin quite a bit because it's got my name in it. It's a Tang community coin, but it does have my name in the coin because it's called Tangent Golden Yacht. And so I fuck this thing, and it does way more volume than $8 a day. Like, let me tell you right now. So this is wrong, and this is going to happen a lot, it's a little bit sad because some people say use Dex Screener, and they might come and get fooled by this and be like, oh, $8 of volume, I'm not buying that. Or like, oh, this coin's dead or whatever. Or a listing site might be like, oh, that's nowhere near enough volume for me to list this coin on our listing site, or to give it a token, logo or whatever, and they'd be dead wrong. Like, it would be one of the most active coins on the chain. So, and you can see that if you go to the 9 mil sites, either the V2 or the V3, Yacht's always like top 20 for volume, liquidity provided, and stuff like that. And obviously because the Tang gang were early adopters of that ecosystem, the Tang gang coins are disproportionately high because they jumped on early and everything's still early. So it's like that has to be factored in, that it's like a little bit unfair because most coins haven't come over to V3 yet. But I'm confident that when more and more coins come over to V3, which they'll have to they'll just be forced to, or they're going to get wrecked. Their users get wrecked, they get wrecked. Then I'm fairly confident that Tang gang coins will retain the ranks in the top performing coins when you look on those dexes. But yeah, for now, these coins hold the crowns. They're all like podium finish coins and shit. The Tang gang's like always up the top in volume. The Tang gang coins are always up the top in volume, liquidity provided, gains. It's the usual story that you guys are getting sick of hearing me say. Every day I wake up, I look at the scoreboard. I'm getting tired of saying it. The Tang gang's on the top of the scoreboard. The gap just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Second place is like so insignificant that the people who manage the scoreboard have basically just stopped writing the fucking numbers. They're running out of chalk. The fucking score for Tang gang just keeps increasing so quickly. They literally are running out of chalk. So eventually they're just going to create a fucking crown and just be like, it's over. Like, we're not even going to maintain this scoreboard anymore. Here's the crown. You guys win the game. And then Cookie's is probably going to come and be like, oh, I'm sorry, you wasted all that time and effort maintaining a scoreboard, when I've been actually telling everyone since day one that we're already at the finish line and everyone else is trying to work out where the start of the race even begins from, like, just geographically. So it's been an unfair fight from the start, but the rules of the game have been fair. So just because just because you can identify something that is unfair, like you obviously now everyone looks at the Tang gang and goes, well, that's not fair, that's OP. We might need to just do some game rebalancing here. Who's the dev that I talk to get this thing just brought back into balance? Because no one's having fun in this game anymore other than the Tang gang. And then you realize that most of this shit is fucking immutable. And the good news is that you can choose that playing character. You can just pick the character that's OP. You just join the Tang gang, right? You make your character OP by equipping the Tang gang attribute. And so if you want to have a fun time in Web3, just lean into the Tang gang. If you want an uphill battle that ends in like just complete futility, not sure if that's the right word for what's going on here. Pretty sure though, just look that up. Futile. Because I made a comment recently about a streamer who uses words incorrectly. Now I'm like, I've got heightened sensitivity to the potential. Having no useful result, ineffectual. Perfect. Yeah, I was like 99% sure it was the right word, but I don't want to sound like a fucking hypocrite, like using a word that is the wrong word for the situation when I've commented that other people have been doing it. So not that that's a problem with that. People seem to love it. Those streams are really popular. So, if that's part of what people want in their streams, I don't want to do it because I want my language to be as accurate as possible. I'm willing to sacrifice viewer count for that. But we've basically got a chart here that points to $1 million, not financial advice. Assumi was what I meant to say there. And we're going to update this little blue thing and say, here, come down here. People that only care about price are just fucking crying because this thing's dropped like 10% or some shit. Just haters mad at the chart. Haters mad at the chart is such a good line because it's like 30%, healthy pullback. Haters mad at the chart is always true because when it goes down, they're fucking mad at the chart. Even if they claim that they don't own any, with Yacht, they clearly do if they're complaining about it. Actually, Yacht actually doesn't have any haters, so it's a bad example. But haters also get mad at the chart when it goes up, even whether they own it or not. Hang on a second, I'm seeing a pattern here. Haters just fucking mad no matter what happens. Any iteration of them owning or not owning the coin combined with it going up or down. So there's 4 possibilities there. And they're mad. And this one, they're mad as well. Also, haters always mad at the chart. So why am I going to listen to you, bro? Why am I going to listen to your dumb shit when all you're ever doing is being mad at the chart? I won't do it. I won't listen to you. And hopefully no one else does either. But the algos these days, they fucking promote drama. So I'm blaming this. It's the system, man. Give me another hit off that J, man. It's the system, man. The solution is oranges. That's not a comment I'm reading out. I'm saying that. Checking for comments. You guys have been really great with the comments. Not so many that it's overwhelming, but not so few that it doesn't give me shit to talk about. And there's one here. I love Tang Gang, HOA 9mm V3. Yo, don't forget InvestX, Petius, and importantly, Pussycat Farms. The last time that I said a positive statement saying that the InvestX plus Petius plus 9mm V3 was like a lethal fucking hat trick, I got my ass handed to me. Like multiple people immediately jumped in and said, how dare you, not in a Greta Thunberg way, just straight up, just asking me how I could be so rude and just, it's not even insensitive. It's just flat out inaccurate to not mention the Pussycat Farms as one of the most important attributes of the Tang Gang and what the Tang Gang has achieved. However, in my defense, not that I need to defend myself because you know me, I don't give a fuck what other people think. it's more just that I was specifically talking to do with the way that those three things interrelate quite tightly. You want to get rich, so you need to know what to buy. So you have to go to a site to find out what the fucking chart is doing because TA actually matters, contrary to what my mum thinks. And then so you go to the site, you go to the best site, InvestX. It's got HOA on Spotlight. So that's probably a pretty big hint on what's worth looking at. But you might want to look at some other Tang coins as well and, you know, sue me. And then, so the point is, you see these Tang coins, they've got the most defensible charts in crypto. You see the enthusiasm of the community. You go in there and you're like, okay, all right. And this is, by the way, this is just a hypothetical. You're like, okay, great. I want to buy all of these Tang coins. You know, I want a subset of these Tang coins. How do I get them? How do I get the best order execution? You click the link on fucking InvestX, takes you straight to like either Petius or 9 mil, I think, like depending on the pair. Rock that motherfucker. And then Petius uses the 9 mil V3 pools, whether you like it or not, to get you the best order execution. So even though the Pussycat Farms, totally amazing, absolutely love them, it's not directly involved. And you know what? I probably need to stop talking. I might get my ass murked because now it sounds like, you know, I don't want someone in the Tang gang. It's a real gang, by the way. So yeah, I need to watch my mouth. So yeah, just, you know, just giving a little bit of context. No, not trying to defend myself. Tang gang was absolutely right on that one. Never disrespect the Pussycat Farms. Amazing protocol. Just as important as every other protocol in the Tang gang. They each have their own unique, special place. You know, I'm not saying that any of them, you know, yeah, that's actually true. Like I'm joking around a lot, but that actually is a really true statement. You know, sometimes that's why jokes are important. We joke around until we accidentally say some shit that's so harsh and so real that all our friends laugh at it, but then the person that it's aimed at is like, oh shit, yeah, these motherfuckers have actually got a real good point. Maybe I am underexposed to HOA, and I'm a crypto noob that actually has never involved in any cryptocurrency at all. So I'm just gonna have to go get some, work out how to get it, and get some. Is how that ended. So that's Yacht. Spent a lot of time on that chart. Oh, the Dilly DAO has an LP on that one as well. This is a Yacht derivative. So this was actually going to be something that I was going to sort of feature or whatever. Like I wanted the stream. I guess this is actually one of the things that made me want to get a stream out, regardless of which direction I took it in. Even though me being overdue for a stream where I hadn't streamed for weeks was probably the main driving factor. This coin community is fucking dank. It just exploded out of nowhere. And so the idea is that it's the Titanic, them standing on the bow of the ship. And so it's yacht related because it's to do with the bow of a boat, but it's also like the Titanic thing. And they're just pounding out these memes and they're fucking hilarious. And look, guys, I'm biased because I think that yacht ecosystem is dope. And so when something is like part of the yacht ecosystem, by the way, just because someone makes a fucking shit coin that's like something to do with yacht or something to do with me or whatever does not mean it's just going to immediately get my fucking approval. Not that I even give approval in this industry. If you guys haven't worked out that I only ask questions, even though I've stated it about 100 times in this stream, you need to go and pick up a book. And so this particular coin came out of nowhere, exploded with all these crazy memes. Obviously, I'm biased because it's a yacht derivative and a lot of the memes have got my PFP in the fucking memes, right? So how am I going to, I'm obviously going to like the memes, at least partially, because I'm in the fucking meme, right? Like, so, I mean, unless it's a meme, unless there's a meme where it's like one where it's designed to attack, if it's a positive meme and you're in it, obviously that's always going to be a factor. But I believe I've earned enough of a reputation of being unbiased that I can have an opinion. Actually, you know what? These days, opinions are so dangerous because people use them as if they're like fucking irrefutable facts that people can put their entire logical argument on. So I'm not willing to tread into that dangerous territory. Let's just say that the memes are dank. I don't even know if the Dilly DAO has. Sorry. The Dilly DAO does have some of these coins. And by the way, if you or someone in your community or team or whatever has sent coins into the Dilly DAO of a project that wasn't on this episode, remember that this episode, I was like, fuck it. I don't have time to do like proper setup and whatever and focus on certain things. So that'll probably be the very next stream, just because the Dilly DAO doesn't like to leave a long period of time. They get on my case and they get on my case. Like the DAO is like, yo, people fucking sent these coins in. Let's get a fucking stream cranking. So, and by the way, as I've proven over this last month, I'm not on some kind of like fucking contract or whatever. I'm doing this for the community. So it's not, I'm not obligated to do it other than an obligation that or something that I force myself to do for the fact that I think it's cool that people want to participate in that Dilly DAO. And that's one of the cool things about how we do it. And we look at dildos. So if you guys enjoy looking at dildos, then I think you'll find that it's worth this fucking continuing. So the point here is, I'm pretty sure this coin did get sent into the DAO, but I would need to double check that, so don't quote me on that. And there may have been quite a few coins that have been sent in that haven't been on this stream. And my next stream, I'll try to do my best. And by the way, the yacht telegram is still the best way to, if you can see a coin, and this allows this to be an anonymous process, because obviously it's all public blockchain. If you see a coin in the fucking Dilly DAO's wallet that has not been featured on the streams, you can come in and there will be no assumption that you were the one that sent it in, because it's public. So anyone can go and make the assessment. Anyone can come in and say, hey, I noticed that this coin is in the wallet. I don't recall it ever being on the stream. Now, that could be because motherfuckers haven't watched all the streams, or they missed that one, or they were high when they watched it, or whatever. And I will work out whether it's been on the stream and shit. So that's cool. So this has actually had quite a lot of volume on this pair just today. So that's had $211. And again, because this is the PLS, this is the Pulse X V2, and the majority of liquidity for this coin is on 9 mil. So this fucking coin, in one of its smaller, not primary pairs, has got 1.5K of liquidity, which is over 10% of its cap, in a minor pair, and $200 of volume. What's that as a percentage of the cap? Fucking high. So really impressive. And maybe does this mean, is this an example that dank memes actually do have a relationship to price and chart performance? I don't know, but that was a big volume candle right there. And that's possibly part of the reason of that. And maybe there's ARBs going on, but anyway, it doesn't matter. That one's dope. Keen on that. And we'll take a look at this chart. You know what? Look, we'll cap this off with one of these. We'll put this here so that we'll know that was the price when we streamed about it today. And we'll look at this chart properly once it's got a bit more data in the next stream. Another yacht derivative, KAKADU. Another chart that's Tang affiliated, that just, oh, and by the way, the yacht website, which is tgyacht.com, is actually going to have the yacht derivative coins that are assessed to be legit in as best, like, because obviously we can never assess these things with 100% certainty, but to the best of the ability of whoever is involved in the yacht community. So that's a community effort, community website, community coin. If there are yacht derivatives out there, which this is another one, same team, I think, or crossover between the teams of this KAKADU one and Bao, that then these coins, or at least one link of these coins, will be on the TG Yacht website, which is pretty cool. And look, KAKADU, average price movement points to $1 million. What the fuck? What the fuck, bro? This has got to be beyond a coincidence now. This chart also points to $1 million. The fuck? I mean, I know that this line is just an estimation. Like, there's nothing godlike about this line. It's just a trend line. But every single one of these lines so far has pointed to $1 million. You know what? We're going to have to get some on-chain guys to just take a look and work out what's going on. So that's KAKADU. Oh, this is another one. These wicks look wild, but just consider that obviously when a coin is quite new and possibly on this pair. So, oh, okay. This LP got started and then got removed. So this has got less than $1 worth of liquidity. You know what? For this one, because it's our last chart, the coins Y, like why? So part of this meme is that you can actually pronounce it so many different ways that it actually means that you can use it in more contexts. So it's more memeable, it's more versatile, because you can say this is the way, or you can say why. So you can use it as way or why. And I've already seen it being used in both. Obviously this liquidity pair so let's go to InvestX, which is a better site anyway, and just see if this internet has caught up in enough time now that we can just go why. Oh shit, I think I know why this is happening. So sometimes with InvestX at the moment, you have to refresh the page. So if you ever have a situation where the search is not working, try refreshing the page. This is a comment. I love everything about PEPE apart from the coin's performance. Oh yeah, so if you, after this stream, you can go back and look at the start. We talked about the chart. It's actually not down that far from base sack. But yeah, it's below base sack at the moment, which, I mean, look, that could mean it's a really good buy. And if we want to frame this in a really positive for them, is like they've focused, a bit like the Pussycat team, they've focused so much on the tech and providing value to the community that they're not shilling their coin. And that has maybe been to the detriment of the coin. But I think for both of those tokens, so for the Pussy token and for the PETEUS, which is PTS, I think for both of those tokens, there's always a turning point where people realize, hey, the tech that these guys are building and the way that they've conducted themselves within the space is so fucking good. I just want to invest in them. And the closest proxy to that, these tokens don't technically have a direct representation of what they're doing. That doesn't exist. Everything is vaporware. Everything's a rug. But people are going to speculate that other people are going to make that speculation. And they're going to go, okay, these teams are dope as fuck. PETEUS and Pussycat, both fucking dope. How do I, and same with like, say, crypto bums and stuff like that. People are going to be like, well, crypto bums actually is direct, where when you buy a crypto bum NFT, you actually do get a share in the revenue. But it's like, how do I either show support, give a vote of confidence, or sort of expose myself to their awesomeness? The tokens wrecked, maybe I buy that. Like the tokens, or the like relatively, like it looks like it's down. It hasn't performed the way that you would expect for such an awesome team and for such awesome technology and for such fuck the tech, the attitudes, how they conduct themselves, the community mindedness. That shit is fucking incredible. Like and that's not to discount what other people have done, because it's such an amazing community with so many people behaving amazingly. But in terms of people in the community that are fucking dons, where there's like a pseudo way that you can invest in their shit. So for the artists, you can buy their NFTs, right? That's a way that you can invest in them. For Petius and Pussycat, there's a token that you can pseudo invest in them. Maybe there are some, like there's a spectrum of how direct or indirect it's actually supporting them. Like maybe there's a team allocation, I don't know, but theoretically it's like, it's definitely a vote of support on the fucking timeline, right? Like it's on the chain. You're putting a vote of confidence in them on the fucking chain. When you make their chart go up, it's a vote of confidence. So, or when someone looks at your wallet and sees that you hold those tokens, and that's why people have been getting airdropped. That's why there were 2 or 3 NFT projects that they're like, we're going to exclusively airdrop to Pussycat holders because we want to respect what they have done for the community. So it's like, then it starts to become more circular. It's like, it sounds like a bit of a circle jerk, but it's like, oh, I can see that you're respecting those people that have given so much respect to the community that I'm a part of. Now I want to respect you. So I'm going to airdrop some of my tokens or my NFTs to holders of that token that respects the team, that has a protocol and has an attitude that respects the community that I want to grow. And ultimately there is an element of selfishness in that, because as we fucking turn that fucking turbine up and start spinning that fucker around until we're all flying through the fucking air, we all win. So, and this is something that Cookies goes on about a lot. It's about value addition that actually benefits everyone and just moves everyone forward in a sustainable and healthy way. And so that was a fucking long rant with a bunch of tangents to say, to respond to this comment that I personally do have some of those PTS tokens, and I am not concerned about the price. I think at some point, and by the way, sue me, but and so I'm not going to make forward-looking comments about prices, obviously, because some people take that the wrong way. But I'm not concerned about my holdings. So that's Petius, which was that chart there. Oh, it's gone up even just since where we marked off the thing, but I can't be bothered going back and altering all the crosses. So now we're here. We've refreshed the page. Let's take a look at whether my little hack worked. WAI. Boom. I was right. So that was the reason why it wasn't the internet before. Sorry about that. So that, oh, fuck. That means we could have been actually using InvestDex the whole time for this whole stream. But anyway, you guys know that I'm promoting this DEX over this data site over DexScreener. So look, let's look at what the biggest liquidity pool is for. That can't be right. It must be on 9 mil. So I think the 9 mil one's not popping up. So I'll make, so look, don't panic. The InvestDex guys, everything's so new, and in the Tang shit is moving at the speed of science. So what we've got is a situation where we're working with these sites and things to highlight things like this. When an LP that should be on the list doesn't show up or whatever, or if say in Petius, if a routing path, if it looks like it's the routing path is not including one of the LPs that it should, we just notify them and then they fix it, like, or they tell us why it's not showing up or why they can't be fucked adding it or whatever, right? So this one only has a liquidity of $107, but I guess that's better than less than 1. But the main LP for this will be obviously paired with HOA, not obviously, but I recall that it was paired with HOA on the 9mm V3 or V2, whatever. So let's go in here just to look at the chart. Go to a higher time frame. So yeah, look, it's so new. It's so new, and we're not seeing the start of the chart because that would have been on 9mm. So it's super new. We'll look at a chart on the next one, but also dank memes. Fucking dank memes, bro. So those would be the two for me on my looking at coins that make dank memes and me wanting to get exposure to those. These charts look weird because they're just too new, and the pairs that I'm looking at have got too low liquidity. So we'll get a better chart. I'll find a better chart for the next stream. I think that's about it. Been streaming for probably 3 hours. Oh, good guess. Exactly 3 hours. That's another line that points to $1 million. Oh, we've already covered that one. That was the KAKADU one. So InvestX Dev said he was going to add the widget to toggle the ratio charts to. I like to visualize it. Yes, yeah. Sorry, yeah. That's something I also noticed was missing. That when you're here, there's no obvious button to get this axis to be PLS base or to flick over to whatever the actual base is. All of them are dollars so far. Look, this is a project that is moving at the speed of science. They are really putting so much effort into like making this as good as possible, and it's improving every day. Like it's literally improving every fucking day. So every day you use it, it's getting better and better. It already meets the minimum standard, by the way. It already meets the minimum standard to give you all the data that you want without being annoying. That's the minimum standard. Do I get to see everything? Is everything I need to see there? And do I never get annoyed by the site? Tick, tick, boom. But it's also getting better every day. So that's it. Shout out all my shit. Join the Tang gang on Telegram. The Yacht Telegram's also dope. Go to the websites, tgyacht.com, hexoacoin.com. My Twitter is hex_tangent. You know, if you want to contribute to the Dilly DAO or like do some Dilly DAO shit, watch the stream one. Consider doing it the LP way. Those sorts of coins are going to definitely take priority. If not, ultimately might end up being the only way that the DAO accepts new coins, just because it's getting pretty hectic. And Bitcoin price is flagging at the moment. Just, you know, guys, the market climbs the wall of worry. So I think that's everything I wanted to cover. Big stream. That was a big fuck off stream. And NWO actually was another coin. We'll just quickly look at NWO. I want to see, I'm just curious because NWO did an airdrop of, or not an airdrop, like a free mint of NFT. Can't even get my acronyms out. NFT. See, here's one that does 9mm. So Pulse Chain 9mm V2. Liquidity 7.9K. So that's already quite large, very large, very large. That's insane. That's insane. So it's fully diluted market cap and circulating market cap, 16K, total liquidity 17K. Bruh. So wait. Ignore those numbers. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. That's not in dollars. So 17K tokens and 401K tokens. And then the liquidity is 7.9K. So half the value of the cap is in one of the LPs. And then half of that is the tokens. So a quarter of the tokens are in this LP. See how many other tokens you can find that you can say that about. There won't be many. But let's just take a look at like the 4-hour chart and try and see, was there a pump? Fuck, I don't know. But what I do know is I'm going to be marking this shit. There we go. So that we know where the price was when we stream about this next. So it's possible maybe this run up here was, I'm not sure. This is a 4-hour chart though. So Yeah, and by the way, also cool community, cool memes. Cool communities, cool memes, orange related. It stands for New World Orange. So, and I think I'm pretty sure it's Tang. It's, as you know, it's Tang Gang official, like enough. It's official enough that it's by. Well, I mean, actually, it's probably very. It's, you would have to argue it's actually very official because it's by the same. The founder is the Tang Gang Telegram group owner, like the person who made the Tang Gang, the main person that made the Tang Gang Telegram, which is kind of like the most significant hub for the Tang Gang is that Telegram. This coin was founded by J Money, who created that Telegram. So yeah, it's official. So that's cool. Thanks for everyone that came by. There was fluctuations in the number of live viewers that we had, but that's okay. We get more views on replay, especially because I started at like a weird time for the US. I'm told that I'm told that around 3 p.m. my time is like the dead middle of the night, including for people who stay up super late. So there's people that stay up super late, and then there's people that wake up super early. So let's just do it. Say some people stay up to like the early AMs, like 2, 3 a.m. And then there are some motherfuckers that get up so early that they want to go for a run and shit. And that's like your 5 a.m., maybe like, you know, my 3 p.m. kind of falls bang in the middle of that. So maybe like 4 a.m. in the States. So on average, because they're across different time zones. So it's like right in the least awake time for the country that is the most active in crypto. So not to make excuses, because we don't play like that. I told you guys at the start of the stream, when we're on the yacht, we give no fucks. We just drink mimosas and have a fun time. We definitely do not make weak ass excuses about how few viewers we get on the live stream. So Mr. Crypto JSY just told me that loan is pumping. This might be the pump that we already identified. Oh, no, that is additional. That is additional. That's good. That's good. I hope that this chart is inversely proportional to the number of people I see fucking crying about the price of this token in their Telegram. And respect to them that they actually allow people to just whinge and whinge and whinge about a lot of Telegrams that just ban your ass. The Liquid Loans group, they allow people to just fucking complain. But hopefully the complaining has been going down by approximately 2.5x. So that's great to see. Guys, I've got to go. I'm starting to get real super hungry, and I need to check my messages, see whether I'm supposed to be out somewhere. Thanks very much, everyone that comes by. Fucking ending it. And that's how we fucking do it. I hope that everyone got some value out of this stream, even though the value was probably just sprinkled throughout like a bunch of fucking noise where I'm just like talking shit. And remember, you can fucking sue me.